So we will begin now from the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Oklahoma Sooners. J.C. Watts at quarterback. Chet Winters will play the right halfback stop. Stanley Wilson at fullback. George Buster Rhymes, the freshman, will start at left halfback, and Steve Rhodes at the split end spot. Oklahoma in the white, trimmed in red. And Nebraska with those bright red jerseys, the white helmets. A colorful sight here today. It is really all red. That's all you can see in the stands. First down for the Sooners. Up 5. There we take a look at the tight end, Forrest Valor, in his latest headgear. Louis O'Bray at tackle. Terry Crouch at guard. Bill Bechtold at center. Don Key at right guard. Ed Culver also has a very stylish hat. And there is Barry Switzer on the sidelines with second down and about 6. Here's J.C. Watts outside, makes the fake, and he has a first down for the Sooners up to the 35-yard line. And that is what Steve Davis talked about earlier with J.C. Watts and the great running ability.
Here it is again. J.C. Watts has got to have a great day for Oklahoma today. He fakes inside the fullback Stanley Wilson. He gets the block from his onside halfback that makes the block, and it's J.C. The play was designed to get J.C. on the run, and of course the safety has to make the play.
To Chet Winters, not much, as Kurt Feinlein, number 59, the middle guard, buttons him down at about the 37-yard line. Chet Winters is a sophomore from Jacksonville, Arkansas. The defensive line, Williams, Clark, Heinlein, Waxter, and Nelson. Well, those two ends are tough, Williams and Nelson. When they pinch in there, it could give the Sooners a little trouble today. With Dan Kruger, Williams, Lindquist, Sims, Gary, and Means backing him up. Second down, about 9. Watts again turns the corner, gets to the 45, and down he goes, but he has a first down as Gary Nelson puts him down very close to the midfield mark.
That time Nebraska showed the 4-3 defense. They have been watching a lot of the Oklahoma-Texas football games of the past. Texas runs the 4-3. Nebraska thinks they can get a little bit of an advantage stopping the outside game in a 4-3. This time again, they're getting the block by the onside halfback, number 20. Makes the block, and J.C. Watts again turns upfield, 2 carries for 30 yards already.
First down for the Sooners. Handoff goes to the second man pool, and it's George Buster Rhymes, and he gets absolutely nothing as Clark and Waxter, the two tackles, pinch him on the inside. It'll be second down and 9. Rhymes has an interesting background. He comes from Miami, Florida, and was pressed into service as a starter last week. All he did was deliver for 132 yards against Missouri. And so auspicious was his debut. As a matter of fact, he was named the Midwest Back of the Week. So he's a good replacement. Incidentally, his name is Rhymes. I believe we have it wrong on the graphic. Here's Watts again. Uh-oh, he slipped and fell as Jimmy Williams had the pressure on him from behind. And as he tried to duck back, as he often does, he couldn't move it. Now that brings up a third down.
Nebraska's strategy in the football game was to give Oklahoma the bad play in the first down, in a first down situation, making them having to go long yards on second and third down. And Nebraska feels like if they give them the bad play early, that would make the difference, and for Nebraska at least, make Oklahoma do something they do not want to do. Oklahoma tries to take advantage in the first down. Nebraska says we're going to take that away from him.
Steve Rhodes has gone in as the split end. Out wide to the right. They third down and 9. Passes too low, intended for Rhodes. And Nebraska has forced a kicking situation. And the strategy of choosing the wind after receiving the benefit of the coin flip may prove to be advantageous here, because Oklahoma's Michael Keeling will be punting it into a pretty doggone good stiff wind. Averaged 41.2 yards this year. Good kick. He tries to keep it low and swirling, and it gets an excellent bounce. Look at this. Look at that. It's going to be down very close to the goal line. Fantastic kick by Michael Keeling and a good break on it. It is down on the 1-yard line.
In the big football games, like we said, it's usually defenses, as we're looking at the Nebraska football team.
Jeff Quinn at quarterback. Andre Franklin at fullback. Jarvis Redwine, the I-back. And Tim McCready, the wingback. Todd Brown, the split end. That's the group of young men who have carried Nebraska to the #1 ranking rushing in the nation in college football this year. The second to last weekend of it. Down on the 1-yard line. First man through, Franklin up to the 5. Richard Turner, defensive right tackle, 255-pounder, who brought him down. There's Steve Davies, the tight end for Nebraska. As we move across this line, just take a look at the muscle development of these fellas' necks. I've never seen anything quite like it. Remington, incidentally, is going to be a great one. Just a sophomore at center. Veteran Randy Sleusner at guard, and Dan Hurley at tackle. Second down, about 6. No score, we've just begun. And here is Jarvis Redwine. He gets it up to about the 8-yard line. Johnny Lewis, the middle guard, making the stop. There defensively, we've got Whaley, Gary Lewis, Turner, and Orlando Flanagan. With Riley, Coast, Jay Jimerson, Lowell, Hayworth, and Sanji.
What I tried to get in right before Nebraska got possession is in the big game, it's the kicking game that comes into play more often. In Oklahoma pinned Nebraska back, but they're doing just what they like to do, establishing their running game. Third down, and the key play here for the Cornhuskers. 3rd and 3, as they're deep in their own territory early in the first quarter. Quinn. And to get off in there, there's a marker down back here. I'm taking a look at the umpire called a delay. The Huskers didn't get the ball off in time, so it'll move it back to 3rd and about 8. I'm just wondering, in a game like this, you know, with a 3rd and 8, you're deep in your own territory. Nobody is even expecting a pass. No doubt Oklahoma's going to be up there pretty strong. The question is, would Jeff Quinn at this point throw? Jeff Quinn is an outstanding combination of running and throwing. His 61.8 percentage every time he throws the ball is just really has everybody concerned because he's so accurate. He throws a good pass, and he's got excellent receivers, Todd Brown, Davies, and McCready, and they run routes that are extremely tough, and I don't think that they're not afraid to throw the ball at any position on the field. Incidentally, today we have an open line to Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. We know that many of you are anxious about the Ohio State-Michigan game, and so we're going to give you periodic updates. When anything happens there, we'll let you know it. Tom Osborne shouting encouragement over there as we have a 3rd down now, a very long 7. Can't imagine what the delay is here. There was not a timeout. Quinn seems to be agonizing over something, and I don't know what it is. I can't even imagine what it is. But the officials now have called an official timeout. Well, the time clock isn't working. That's what it is. So the got part of it. Maybe you got it. But one clock is working, another one isn't working, but there was a definite delay on the play. So it is 3rd down, a long 7. And up come the big red team at the 4-yard line of their own territory. And another marker. Could that possibly be another delay? Here.
Ball foul. Move it in the line. Illegal procedure. Nebraska. 3rd down.
Still 3rd down. Moves them half the distance to the goal line. Tom Osborne obviously looking on anxiously because this is a dangerous place to be. Down on the 2-yard line. Look at the, there you see, Schleusner jumped out a little bit. Moved his leg. Down as Franklin blasts him. But we have another marker. The way Oklahoma's reacting here, however, it looks like it's going to be against, it's against Oklahoma. Oklahoma defense started to come off the field thinking that if it was against Nebraska, they'd decline the penalty. So we've had a rather, I guess you'd call it a dismembered start here.
Several minutes have been played right there, back and forth, 5 yards back and forth.
So up we come again with the third down. Third down, about 4 to go. All kinds of confusion here in this showdown battle for the Big 8 championship. If Oklahoma should win this game, then of course the Orange Bowl would still be up for grabs. I'll explain that a little bit later on. Nebraska, of course, by winning goes automatically to the Orange Bowl. Here's Quinn ducking inside. He may have the first down. He sprawled over the 10-yard line and squeezed the last inch out of it before Mike Coast brought him down. Very close to the 11. It'll be close enough to measure. Fans are booing a little bit because they think that the official marked the ball short of where it was stretched to. First down.
That's what Jeff Quinn gives the University of Nebraska that they have not had in the past since 1971 and Jerry Taggy. Watch him on the option play. Comes to the end man. He's waiting on the guard as he pulls. Then he cuts inside. He sees a little seam. He knows he's got short yardage situation to get the first and jumps upfield. They've always had excellent passers for Nebraska, but Jeff Quinn can both throw the ball and run, and that gives Oklahoma all sorts of headaches. He's a fine runner. Tough and big.
First down on the 11-yard line. No score. First quarter. Handoff. Swinging wide to the side is Tim McCready. And he's out of bounds after getting just about a yard. Good reaction by Richard Turner, the defensive right tackle. Number 96. So that brings up a second down situation. I'll tell you one thing about Oklahoma. You know, they started on a rather shaky defensive note. After all, they were decimated by graduation. But from what I've seen, there's a certain quickness there, Steve, that they've developed.
They've got good team speed, and they've got a great opportunity from last week's game. They've got a confidence builder. They shut down Missouri rather effectively last week, and they're happy about that. They're feeling and playing confident.
Second down, Quinn on the shuttle, pitches back. Redwine outside. That's where he's dangerous. Look out. He's got a man to beat. He could go. Jarvis Redwine is going to go all the way. He turns around and taunts the player behind him. Touchdown, Nebraska. 89 yards by Jarvis Redwine. I don't have to tell you what this field is being pelted by. Oranges everywhere. What a brilliant run.
Here it is. Jeff Quinn cuts down the line of scrimmage. Andre Franklin's out in front. Jarvis Redwine gets the pitch on the outside. He's got the seam. Number 6 is the only one that can make the play on him. Hayworth, and he can't. Jarvis Redwine, 4.4 speed, outruns everybody.
And it's going to take a moment to clear off the field.
Here it is again. Watch Redwine just accelerate. He was a walk-on football player. Transferred from Oregon State University. He gets the seam. He's got Andre Franklin blocking. No one's out there, and he just goes down the sidelines. Hayworth had the last chance. Jarvis Redwine, it's a track meet. He's on his way. He's a sprinter. Excellent run. Good call by the Nebraska.
I guess it was a good call.
Well, they were going inside with Andre Franklin. Then all of a sudden they hit the big pop play on the option, gets the pitch, and makes the big play on the outside.
So Jarvis Redwine explodes for 89 yards. And Nebraska, with 8 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the first quarter, has a 6-0 lead. Kevin Seibel will try the extra point. He's pretty good this year, 46 out of 48. Oh, this one could go up to about 90 rows with that wind behind him. They're explaining something about a personal foul. Did you see a marker down?
Yeah, well, of course. I think the throwing the oranges on the field, and that's in the excitement. It's still you know, not the best thing to do. That's what they call the penalty.
And that'll be attached on the ensuing kickoff. Kick is perfect. Nebraska leads this one by the score of 7-0. And when we come back, Oklahoma will have an opportunity to try to put it in.
I'll tell you, I was a born soccer player.
Well, it didn't take Oklahoma very long once they found the key, even though they were pinned deep in their own territory at the 1-yard line. That key first down by Quinn, getting it out to the 11, and then bang, 89 yards, and off goes Jarvis Redwine. Actually, that drive was 99 yards, not 89 yards, because Redwine got 89 of those himself. They took it at the 1. Now the ball is being teed up at the 25-yard line because of the personal foul. That was all of those oranges that were thrown out, and Nebraska was penalized for it. So Kevin Seibel will kick to George Rhymes, number 4, or Jerome Ledbetter, number 20. Nebraska out in front. 8:43 to go, first quarter. Good high kick coming all the way down and driving Oklahoma deep. And even with the kickoff from the 25, he drills it 75 yards. But we must give Mother Nature a little bit of an assistance.
Of course, the adrenaline really flows in this football game. It's not hard at all or difficult at all to get ready and prepare for the football game. Of course, right now, Oklahoma feels a little bit of the pressure, the big long run, the big play. That has an emotional effect as well as the fact that the scoreboard's changed.
A little bit later on this afternoon, immediately following this game, the Trojans of Southern California, the Bruins of UCLA, and what should be a great crosstown rivalry, and the renewal of that one will be brought to you by Keith Jackson and Frank Boyles. J.C. Watts ducking inside the hole. Oh, he gets 5 yards quicker than anybody I've ever seen. Russell Gary, number 9, the safety man, makes the stop. Put it back on the 24-yard line. Watts in the backfield has Chet Winters there, number 40. He's got Stanley Wilson. And there goes Bobby Grayson, the split end. George Rhymes is there on the left side of the wishbone. Boy, before anything can happen, Derry Nelson just bear hugs Stanley Wilson. What a defensive play by this All-America defensive end.
Derry Nelson, number 92, right there at the top of your screen watching the play. Nebraska has 2 tackles to the left side of their line, and then so the back tries to work away to the other side. Derry Nelson has outside the responsibilities, and he makes the play. An All-American, excellent speed, another one of the great Nebraska walk-ons.
Nice hole, and Wilson gets it up over the 30-yard line. First down as Dave Clark, number 63, combines on the tackle with Toby Williams, number 97. You'll see both of those guys in there a lot this afternoon. One thing Oklahoma can do is move that football.
Well, they have an outstanding offensive football team. They've got good speed in their backs. The frustration is that they do not have David Overstreet in the lineup. He's the best blocker. Buster Rhymes is an outstanding freshman footballer, good run player, but is not a very good blocker right now. He'll get better, but he's not as good as they think he ought to be.
First down on the 30. Nice change of direction. And Stanley Wilson gets it up to about the 39-yard line. Russell Gary. Nice move.
Watch Stanley Wilson. He shows that he has the ability to make the change when he has to. The play was designed to go outside, so he cuts. He sees that full and breaks to his right and makes a significant gain. He's had a bruised shoulder. He's healthy today, and Oklahoma thinks that he's got to have an outstanding day, both he and J.C. Watts. Nebraska's concerned more about him than anybody else.
2nd and 2. And going through the middle of that line is Chet Winters. Russell Gary making the stop. First down.
Here it is at ground level. J.C. Watts handing off to Chet Winters. Has great quickness, not the overpowering speed, but watch him just take on the good hit. Russell Gary, the safety.
Nebraska is leading this one on an electrifying 89-yard touchdown run by Jarvis Redwine, coming at 8:43 of the first quarter. Now we have 6:10 to go, and Oklahoma's on the attack. What a defensive play by Jimmy Williams, crashing through to bring down J.C. Watts back on the 42-yard line. Jimmy Williams, a junior from Washington, D.C., a walk-on.
what Nebraska's got, they've got their 2 defensive tackles to that side of the field. They're both out there. It's called their strong set, and so it just gives you an extra man and some little extra headaches to block offensively.
It's a pretty strong set, all right.
Yeah, it's exactly, but it's kind of weak on containment to the other side, but when you've got a Derry Nelson to contain, you've got a pretty good defense.
It's 2nd down and 12. Watts is back to pass. And he is hit from behind by Derry Nelson, by Toby Williams. However, his arm had started forward on the forward pass, so it is not a fumble. But Toby Williams reached up there and just got enough to snag that ball and to cause the incompleted pass. Oh, this defense is formidable.
Watch JC. Watch his hand motion. He'll be trying to go forward. Toby Williams, number 97, coming behind him. Just kind of nicks his elbow and causes the motion to go, and the ball pops out. He was intended to go forward with it.
3rd down and 13. Watts scrawled at the 47-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th down. And this Nebraska team's going to get a standing ovation, the defensive unit, as it goes off the far side. Listen to this. Michael Keeling, who put the ball down and was down on the 1-yard line before, is a little bit farther back. Sails another good kick into the teeth of the wind, and a fair catch called on the floater at the 22-yard line. And so Nebraska will take over the football, 4:45 to go in this first quarter, and the Cornhuskers are leading by the score of 7-0. The Big Red team coming out of the huddle at the 22-yard line. Now Oklahoma will be spooked a little bit. They know what Jarvis Redwine can do. He already has run 89 yards against him for the game's only touchdown. He's the deep man in the eye. Ball goes to him. This time, however, he is knocked down at the 27. Mike Riley, number 50, strong side linebacker. Ball on the 27. Jarvis Redwine, I'll tell you, is one of the grittiest players I think I've seen in a long time. I don't think people realize, Steve, what it's like to play football with bruised or broken ribs. It is murder every time you take a breath or cough or sneeze. And he's out there taking a pounding. Look at the quick opener of Andre Franklin spinning up to the 44. Steve Hayworth may have saved the touchdown there.
Here's the play that Oklahoma's been concerned about, the quick pop. Andre Franklin right in the middle. It's the trap play. Hayworth's got to make the tackle for Oklahoma with a free safety. He is quick. He's a bolter. He's been a 3-year starter in Nebraska. He makes things happen so fast. One of the strongest players on the football team. His neck bows outside his ears just about. He's tremendously strong.
1st and 10 on the 44. Nebraska leading, and they have the football. Steals in motion. Wynn shuttles across, pitches it back to Redwine, and he's driven out of bounds. This program is being brought to you as an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
This is KOCO-TV, Oklahoma City.
Jarvis Redwine, 3 rushes, 101 yards. Not bad for about a 33.5-yard average.
And, of course, with that yardage today, he becomes a 2-year, 1,000-yard rusher. 2 years in a row, he's gone over 1,000 yards.
12th in the nation. 2nd down, about 6. Quinn takes the stop, cuts back inside, and down he goes, but he's in Oklahoma territory. Johnny Lewis shuttled right across with him from his middle guard spot and buttoned him down. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 2.
Quinn really gives Nebraska a dimension they have not enjoyed since 1971. There have been some great passers here, David Hum, Vince Ferragamo, and others. But Jeff Quinn, the talented thrower, but what he does and causes defensive headaches of just having the defense, the option, they are extremely balanced. I have to think they have to be the most balanced team in college football.
Quick pitch. Here comes Todd Brown on the fake. Redwine fakes to him. And he is out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Steve Hayworth was very, very alert. Also in on the at least slowing him up, was Steve Whaley, number 57, who was not fooled, but he didn't make his hit strong enough.
Ah, the razzle-dazzle starts early. Here's the pitch to Redwine. Now watch, he fakes to the wingback coming across, and then Redwine breaks outside, but Hayworth is alert, just like you said, Bill, and made the play, but they're already starting a little bit.
Whaley's mad at himself for missing the tackle. First down for Nebraska on the 35-yard line of Oklahoma. Nebraska's leading this one, 7-0 in the first quarter. Hand off to Franklin, gets a couple, grinds his legs forward as Whaley brings him down. Watch Remington, the center, fire out for Nebraska.
He really is. It's the first year to start, they say, really accelerates well off the ball. He's blocking on Johnny Lewis. He got at his feet and got him out of the play. He did what he was supposed to do.
Tell you, the Penn State coaching staff was very impressed with him when Nebraska beat Penn State earlier in the season. The game was televised on ABC. Second down and about 7. Nebraska leading 7-0. We're in the first quarter, 2 minutes to go. Quinn just turns around and throws the ball wildly. Nobody there. Two men looking at each other, and the ball was on the ground. That was not a trick play.
No, it was a busted play. Watch the backs. I do not know the numbers, but watch them collide. Okay, who is that? Todd Brown coming across and Redwine. Todd Brown and Redwine collide. That's the best defensive play Oklahoma's had right now. That's what happened. They were coming back across. Todd Brown, the split in, is coming across. Watch Redwine. He's going to get the pitch. Oh, I see. Todd Brown was going to get the pitch. Right. They were going to do a little trickery.
It makes it a third down and 17 now. Nebraska's on the OU 42. Quinn just turns around and spins it outside to Redwine. Once he gets out there, he's dangerous. He's down on the 30, 10 yards short of a first down. Boy, Quinn is cool. He just pirouettes around in there looking for things to happen.
Well, he had the option to throw it. Watch it. He wants to throw. See his arm, he's ready to throw, and this is what makes him a great quarterback. Usually a Nebraska quarterback throw, but now he runs the option play and gets it to his best back, Redwine.
Yeah, you know the pitch on that one, that's kind of significant. You're a former quarterback. He pitches that one with his left hand. He goes to the right and pitches with his right. He's got marvelous agility. All right, here's Kevin Seibel to attempt a 47-yard field goal. He's got a lot of wind behind him, and it's on its way. It is good. He blasts it right through. And Nebraska has taken a 10-0 lead over Oklahoma, and that score came with 43 seconds to go in this first quarter. Back in just a moment. Kevin Seibel, who has just booted a 47-yard field goal to give Nebraska a 10-0 lead, will now boot the ball off from the 40. Well, if he put it in the end zone from the 25, he shouldn't have too much trouble here. I think one thing should be said. It's not obvious when you're watching a game on television how much the wind comes into play. But there is a psychological advantage, there is a physical advantage, and Oklahoma will have it in another 43 seconds.
Well, when you're an offensive player, you feel like you're having to go uphill against the wind. It really, just like you say, it does have an effect on you. I used to always hate to go against the wind.
I hate to play golf with the wind for the very reason. Look at this one. He boots it right through the uprights. And it draws a big cheer from the crowd. So Oklahoma will take over the football, and with 43 seconds to go, no time elapsing, of course, since nobody touched it. Nebraska sets the defense. Oklahoma sets the offense.
Oklahoma's had a couple of looks now at the defensive scheme and the way they're trying to play the wishbone right now. Of course, there's a stat, what Nebraska's done mostly on Jarvis Redwine's big play. And Oklahoma will try now to establish themselves and get some confidence. You've got to be cool here. You don't want to make mistakes, give them any more points. You want to try to establish what you can do best.
To the first man through, and Jimmy Williams doesn't waste any time in knocking Stanley Wilson right to the ground. 2-yard gain at most.
Stanley Wilson, the fullback, outside, and right there Jimmy Williams, the junior, just takes him right on. Nobody's on him, and he just manhandles him. 6'3", 225 junior, Washington, D.C. Brothers on the other side of the line.
Incidentally, in the Ohio State-Michigan game, after trading punts, the Wolverines drove down to the Ohio State 31-yard line where they tried a field goal and they missed it. So there is no score in that game in the first quarter from Columbus, and we'll keep our open line going. Yale is leading Harvard in the first quarter in that Ivy League battle at New Haven. Overstreet has gone in the lineup. Overstreet, who's been hampered with a hamstring pull, is in the lineup for Oklahoma on a 2nd and 6. Handoff goes to Wilson. He gets about 3, gets it over the 27-yard line, and it'll bring up the big 3rd down once again for the Sooners as time runs out here in the first quarter. Listen to the crowd here cheering the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who have a 10-0 lead. So that's the end of the first 15 minutes. We'll be back in just a moment. Reported, Ohio State and Michigan are tied 0-0 in the first quarter as the Wolverines missed on a field goal attempt of 31 yards by Ali Haji Sheikh. It's 3rd down and 4 for the Sooners, but they now have the wind of their backs. Winters, Watts, Grimes in the backfield. Here's Watts, spins away. So close to that first down and then was bent backwards. I don't know whether he got his nose on the 30-yard line or not.
First quarter stats, Bill. Of course, Nebraska leads in the total yards because of the big run of Jarvis Redwine. If you're an Oklahoma Sooner fan, Barry Switzer's telling his Oklahoma Sooners right now that, guys, you take one play out of the Nebraska offense, the long run by Redwine, and, hey, it's just a 3-0 ball game. So, you know, really, the statistics are pretty balanced except for that big run and the big play. And as we said at the beginning of the ball game, it would be the big play that makes a difference in the big game.
Always has been.
But you can't take that play out.
That's close it is. All he needs is just one ripple of the big skin over it. Looks to me like he's got it. Well, it may not have been placed down. See, at the 25-yard line, it may not have been placed properly. From this angle, it looks like it's on.
I think he's inspecting the chain, make sure there's not any knots in it.
Well, this is the biggest mystery of the weekend. Bigger than who got JR.
I've never seen this happen before. Never seen this happen before. It's like they're trying to figure out if there's enough yardage in the chain or the lines are wrong.
I can't.
Incorrect.
I don't know. I thought maybe the chain might have gotten hooked. It's a first down. Sometimes it does get tangled up. There's number 12 on the sideline, Bobby Grayson. Going in for Steve Rhodes. So it's the first down for the Sooners. That's their 5th. On Monday night, the LA Rams against the New England Patriots. And I think we had Saints down there. I don't know how that could happen. They are the Patriots. I believe the graphic is totally wrong because it should be Los Angeles and New Orleans. The Saints are playing, but they do not play in New England. First down on the 30-yard line. The Oklahoma sideline crew is really upset. They said it wasn't a first down. Well, we've got a few interesting things on the official side. Uh-oh, look out. J.C. Watts got some incoming mail from that side, and it is Jimmy Williams who just roared through to bring him down way back on the 23-yard line.
Oklahoma's trying to go deep. J.C. Watts, the fake of the sweep, puts the ball inside to tuck it away. He gets pressure from Jimmy Williams and almost gets away from Williams, but there David Clark comes in and also makes the tackle on J.C. An excellent defensive front of Nebraska. They're a hard-charging line. Oklahoma's got one of the best offensive lines they've had in a long time. That time they didn't hold.
2nd and 18. J.C. Watts knocked down. Oh, the defense has been tough. Pat Larson, number 3. Russell Gary, number 9. J.C. Watts says to himself, what do I have to do to get outside?
Well, he was looking for the pitch, and of course they had it covered. They had people on the outside. He made the right decision, as much as you'd like to.
Now
There's
we
the
got
correct
it.
graphic.
New Orleans Saints at 9 o'clock Eastern Time against the Rams on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Third down, 15, 13:45 to go in this first half. Talking about a big play for Oklahoma, trailing 10-0. Deep pitch goes to Chet Winters, but Russell Gary is right there, and down he goes. Russell Gary is one of the smartest football players when it comes to knowing and smelling the play out. And again, a standing ovation for the defensive unit. Russell Gary is a senior from Minneapolis. Michael Keeling will have the benefit now of a big win to his back. Averaged nearly 40 yards on his 2 kicks into the wind. Oh, he got a bad one. End over end. He didn't take advantage of the upper jet stream on that, and it rolls out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So we have exactly 13 minutes to go in the first half, with the Cornhuskers leading by the score of 10-0. And when we come back, the Big Red team will have the football. Thanks to an 89-yard touchdown run by Jarvis Redwine and Seibel's field goal of 47 yards, Nebraska leads 10-0. In Columbus, Ohio, Michigan and Ohio State are tied as we move into the second quarter there. Michigan had the ball for 11 minutes of the first period, but didn't score. They missed on a field goal. Jim Kotera is in at fullback, lead man, and there is a marker down, about 6 of them. Craig Johnson, number 30, has gone in the lineup for Nebraska. In the backfield is the I-back. Might have been movement. McCready will trot off to the far side. I'd be interested in knowing how they...
Dead ball foul. Movement in the line, Nebraska. First down.
That's the second time that Nebraska's been called on movement in the line. 4th penalty, total of 26 yards. 1st and 15. Ball on the 27. Nebraska out in front, 10-0. Quinn hands it off. And it's Craig Johnson who hits up in there, and Richard Turner knocks him down. In case you joined us a little bit late, it was Jarvis Redwine who really got this crowd right up on their feet with a tremendous 89-yard run after Nebraska had gotten the ball on its own 1-yard line, punched it out to the 11, and then Redwine ran 89 yards for the game's only TD. Now we're in the second quarter. Nebraska with a 2nd down and 12, and a pass is complete to Tim McCready on the far side. Didn't get much, just up to the 37-yard line, as Jay Jimerson was right there for Oklahoma. Where's number 15?
The wingback, McCready, number 24. It's just the roll pass. Jeff Quinn rolls to his left, throwing a little bit against the grain. And right on the money where it had to be to Tim McCready, number 24. Just an out route.
I like the way Jimerson hits. He goes for both of those legs.
Here's the end of the pass again, right where it had to be. Almost. Gary Lowe was almost there to touch it, but it got by. Jeff Quinn threw it right where it needed to be thrown.
3rd down and 5. Ball at the 36. Oklahoma has to stop them right here, they feel. Get their hands on that football again. A little bit of pressure. The pass goes out and over the head of the intended receiver, and it does bring up a 4th down. Ray Johnson over there, number 30. And so now Oklahoma says, okay, fellas, now you kick it over.
You also got to note, except for Jeff Quinn, you had the second-team players of Nebraska resting. Andre Franklin and Jarvis Redwine, Kotera and Johnson were in the football game. Coach Osborne is not afraid to put in his second-team players at all, but when you've got people like Johnson and Craig, it's not a bad deal.
Scott Gamar will make the first punt of the ball game for Nebraska, averaging 39 yards a kick. This one wobbles off the right side of his foot. It's a pretty good bounce in favor of Nebraska, and is going to be down inside the 15-yard line. Steve Davies, number 82, is down there. Well, for one moment, I thought it might have been touched by an Oklahoma player, but he stayed away from it. And with 11:21 to go in the first half, we'll be back.
This is kanji, an important part of the Japanese written language. There are
Oklahoma has the football on the Oklahoma 18-yard line with a first down. 11 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the first half. Bill Fleming and Steve Davis reporting from Lincoln, Nebraska on a perfect afternoon for football. A little high handoff goes to George Rhymes. Oftentimes when you hand that ball high to a back, it just destroys his dynamics and he just loses all of his punches. So concentrating on trying to hang on to the football. So he didn't get much. Well, just short of the 20, as you can see. Ohio State has just kicked a field goal to lead Michigan by the score of 3-0. That was set up on a 43-yard pass from Art Schleister to Calvin Murray. And Yanakiewski put it through. That might have been wind-aided. That pass was 15 feet over the head of Steve Rhodes.
It wasn't so much wind-aided as it was David Clark-aided. Clark, 6'3", 246 senior from Odessa, Texas, the defensive tackle, really put his hands up in front of J.C. Watts, causing him to throw the ball high and outside.
He's 0 for 3 today.
Nebraska's doing what they wanted to do, give Oklahoma the bad play on first down, make them go for long distances on second and third.
And here's Watts. He throws a floater. It is, there was some contact between Bobby Grayson and the defensive back, Andy Means, but nothing called. Thought for a moment Grayson might even have been called for offensive interference because he had his hands out there. But in the view of the official, no infraction.
There was a little bit of rubbing shoulders there. He kind of got his arm locked in with
That's what it was.
Bobby Grayson, and I think that the referee just felt like that he was not actually going after the interference.
Oh, there's a beautiful kick by Michael Keeling, spiraling all the way back down to the 16-yard line to Dave Legal. And so it is down on the 24-yard line after 60 yards in the air. And we have 10 minutes and 27 seconds to go in this first half. A lot of exciting things happening at halftime. We'll be bringing you some of the highlights of the Ohio State-Michigan game and Yale and Harvard. We'll also have the spectacular Cornhusker marching band performing before this crowd today. The last home game of the season. Certainly not the last game for either of these two teams. It just depends on what happens here, where they're going to go. Of course, Oklahoma has to play Oklahoma State next week in a conference game. Pitch back to Redwine. Notice how he hesitates just a little bit. He's got that uncanny sense of just waiting to see, will the block be thrown? Well, at that time, it wasn't.
He's looking for that seam because as a running back, you just kind of feel and see seams opening up as you're running lateral. Then all of a sudden you see a little crack and then you jump upfield. Make something happen.
Later on this afternoon, the Trojans of Southern California and the Bruins of UCLA following this game. That should be a dandy, the renewal of one of the great crosstown rivalries. Second down and 8. Quinn just turns around and looks, ducks through the hole, gets 5 or 6, and he's knocked down about 2 yards short of the first down. Incidentally, that 33-yard field goal by Yanakiewski of Ohio State were the first points scored on Michigan in the last 4 games. A total of 15 quarters, actually. So Ohio State leading in that one, and Nebraska leading in this one. Third down and about a yard and a half. Pitch back to Redwine. Good, strong hit there. Stopped him short of the line of scrimmage by Mike Riley. Number 50 came roaring through along with Mike Coast, number 48. And that brings up a 4th down.
That was a big play. Oklahoma, Mike Riley, the strong side linebacker, really made a play. He read the play, saw the guard pull. When he saw the hole vacated, he came right through that slot and made the tackle on Redwine. That's a big play and a confidence builder for the defense.
All right, here is Scott Gamar back to do the punting. Hayworth is back along with Rhodes. One short, one long. Good kick by Gamar. Drills it into the wind. And down goes Rhodes as he goes to his knees at the 31-yard line. and Oklahoma will have the football. We have 8 minutes, 23 seconds to go in this first half. The Cornhuskers are out in front, 10-0.
At today's gas prices.
And the Nebraska fight song is being played as we get ready to play once again at the 32-yard line. Barry Switzer has his team trailing 10-0, except for that long run by Redwine. It would have been much closer. 89 yards at the 8-minute mark, some seconds to go in the first quarter, and he ripped down the sidelines. Pitch goes deep. It's Buster Rhymes, and he goes to the 40. First down at the 44-yard line as he steps out of bounds very close to the 45. Kurt Heinlein, number 59, was chasing him out. Rhymes has got some speed, I'll tell you.
He's a tremendously gifted athlete. Played in Miami, Florida in high school, a freshman this year, 6'3", 195-pounder. People back in Oklahoma would say they remind him, of course, of Elvis Peacock. Wears the same number Elvis ran at Willard. Very talented. Good big play on the first down.
13 yards on it. The hole was blocked for Stanley Wilson, and the best he could do was about 3 as Wexter, Heinlein, and Clark, the middle of the defensive line, numbers 75, 59, and 63 in there.
The ball game's been very well played. There have been no turnovers. Field position has not been a factor, except Nebraska got backed up early in the ball game. Of course, didn't take them long to change that quick. The long touch.
It's a second down, just short of the 50. Here's Watts back to pass. Throws it, caught. Great catch by Steve Rose right on his fingertips at the 39-yard line. Andy Means was covering, but there was no way you can cover that one. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a catch.
Steve Rhodes has been the nemesis of the University of Nebraska. Watch it. It's the fake inside. It's just the out route. 3 steps back and throw. It's about a 12-yard out route. Rhodes catches it. That's his 7th catch of the year. Here it is again. Watch JC. Fakes inside. You're thinking run, run, run. And Andy Means has dropped off of him a little bit, so the pass is there and it's complete.
First down. Watts got a hole. Goes to the 35. Goes to the 30. His bounce back hard, but his forward progress was to the 30-yard line. People flying all over the place. I'll tell you, there is some hitting down there, Steve, like we haven't seen.
This is probably one of the most physical football games either one of these teams will play in, because it's a great football game, and they're excited and the adrenaline flowing, and now Oklahoma's starting to feel kind of how Nebraska's playing, and they're getting to get some seams now, some confidence. Coach Osborne's looking out, trying to figure out what defense they were in, and don't be in that one again.
Ball is about 2 yards short of the first down. Let's call it 3. Second down. And Wilson tries to spin outside, but Gary Nelson's number 92 is there. Gary Nelson, named to the Football Writers All-America team yesterday, and the only unanimous choice in the Big 8, defensive end. Not that big either, only 222, but that's a fairly high honor for a guy who's just a walk-on.
Nebraska's got the most outstanding walk-on program in the country in college football with limited scholarships. People are going to be calling Nebraska to find out how it works so well. A lot of these great players in Nebraska, All-Americans, Big Eighters, are walk-on players.
And the black shirt's being tested here as Watts goes outside, gets it inside the 25, and Russell Gary knocks him down. But J.C. Watts gives Oklahoma its best position on the field at the 24. Well, even the best can get fooled.
Exactly. Watch him inside. He gets inside. He takes the fullback. That was his responsibility. Somebody else has got to come quarterback, and they're not there. There was probably some sort of stunt out there because he went for the guy he's supposed to get, and he didn't have the football.
Hey, one thing, Russell Gary covers pretty fast. Steve Rose is out wide to the right now with a first down for Oklahoma. Their best shot of the day. On the 24, handoff goes to the Wilson, and as he spins off to the left side, he goes out of bounds about on the 5-yard line. There was some trickery that we have not seen before.
I said the aha because I couldn't find the ball. When I found the ball, I was amazed.
Let's look at it.
It's Stanley Wilson. Let's see where he goes. He gets right there. Oh, he just got the ball in the base place, and the flow went to the right, and he just back-legged and turned a nice.
Hey, was that planned or not?
Well, he likes to cut back, I think. We'll have to ask him.
Well, if it wasn't planned, it'll be in the playbook against Oklahoma State, I can guarantee you. First and goal to go for Oklahoma. Handoff. And no, fake handoff, and as Watts goes by, He is knocked down by Andy Means on the 3-yard line. Stan Wilson had a hole you couldn't believe.
Watch JC. They get the corner, just what they want. They've got the ratio they want. He can pick the ball now. He says, no, I can get to the end zone. Williams is there and Means. Here it is again. Watch JC come down the line of scrimmage. He's looking for the seam. He's got Rhymes for the pitch. And Andy Means comes out and makes the tackle. One more look at it. Watch the look that JC sees. He thinks maybe I can pitch. No, he sees the corner of the end zone. And Williams' pursuit and speed pulls JC down.
Well, the thing that bothered Wilson is that he had an absolute waltz into the end zone, but didn't have the ball. Oh, there's a big stack up in there. It might have been a lost football, the way that Nebraska is cheering.
This is where Nebraska gets so tough. They're so physical. They've got good, strong people, good size inside, and the defensive ends. J.C. Watts, the #1 scorer on the team, likes to score. Of course, that's by design more than anything else.
So it'll be on the 3-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. There was no fumble. And now Oklahoma trailing 10-0. 4:27 to go in the first half. Has the ball on the 3-yard line. As Nebraska has its black shirt defensive unit up there. Watts, he's got room. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Great play by J.C. Watts.
It's the flare blocking scheme. It's just designed. J.C.'s supposed to take whatever happens. Nobody comes for the quarterback. J.C. walks into the end zone. It's a cakewalk.
And Wilson put the block in there that he had to put in.
The block and J.C., there's nobody comes for the quarterback, and you just walk in. That happens sometimes on the wishbone. Different responsibilities, and they do different things, and you find yourself with nobody to pitch off of.
And it's 10-6 as Mike Keeling will try the extra point. He puts it up and drills it. It's 10-7, and really a brand new ball game as Oklahoma has proved that they can move the football against Nebraska. So with 4:17 to go in the first half, 3-point difference. Now we'll be back. Nothing builds confidence like touchdowns.
It was an excellently executed drive. The big play, of course, Steve Rhodes and the great catch on the out route. J.C. Watts, we said at the very beginning of the ball game as we're looking at the tie, Michigan, Ohio State 3-3. We said at the beginning it would be J.C. Watts. He had to have a great day, and he's having one so far. He's executing quite well.
And as you can see, Michigan and Ohio State are all tied up. Here's Michael Keeling getting ready to boot. Anthony Steele, number 33, is deep, along with Ricky Simmons, number 7 for Nebraska. Line drive, wobbly kick, way over the heads of everybody, and out it goes. And Nebraska will take over the football. Well, it was a well-thought-out drive by the Sooners, moving 68 yards. And some scores coming in now. Rutgers over Colgate. Lehigh and Lafayette. Well, there's an old rivalry. And Yale still leading Harvard 7-0 in the first quarter for the championship of the Ivy League. 1st and 10 for Nebraska. Carolina over Duke. As we come up to a 1st and 10 with 4:17 to go in the first half. It's a 10-7 ball game. On the delay, and off to Redwine. He's caught back there, and down he goes at the 17-yard line. Orlando Flanagan, number 53, the defensive right end, got in there so quickly, Redwine didn't really have an opportunity to react.
It's a delay type play. Watch Jeff Quinn kind of delay. It looked like there was a little bit of confusion, so Redwine pops outside. Flanagan's there and makes the tackle on him. It looked like a little bit of confusion. Nebraska second backfield at that time.
Roger Craig has gone in as the I-back for Redwine. There's number 21. Quinn shuttling across, pitching it back to Craig. Craig makes his move and is knocked down at the 24-yard line. A solid hit by Steve Whaley, number 57. That's how the I-back looks at things.
Watch Roger Craig get the option off of Jeff Quinn. Now look what he sees. He sees the block outside. He jumps inside, and Steve Whaley has to come from his defensive end position to make the tackle on him.
Nebraska has no first downs in this quarter, as Oklahoma's done a good job defensively. 3 minutes to go in the first half, and it's 10-7. Nebraska out in front by 3. It's a 3rd down and 7. A deep pitch, and it's a wild one to Craig. Now he's really caught and barely gets back to the 21-yard line. I'll tell you, he's lucky he caught that ball. That shows you concentration. Good job, Roger.
Jeff Quinn might have misread the Oklahoma defense because he just stopped. He pitches way too soon. He didn't have to pitch. That's part of it. The pitch was back a little bit off pace for Roger Craig 21. Jeff Quinn, he just pitched off the wrong man. Didn't have anybody really to pitch off of.
Scott Gamar to bunt into the wind, and he gets a kick that wobbles up and floats, and it is taken there at the 45-yard line, and the ball is fumbled, but covered by Oklahoma at the 42. That was Benson who got the ball eventually, or Dawson. As we take a look at some other scores, the ball will be placed out on the 45-yard line. Tennessee out in front of Kentucky in an SEC battle. Clemson over South Carolina. There's kind of a big surprise. George Rogers is coming. How about that? Watts fakes, and now decides to run. Backs across the 50-yard line at the 48. Steve Damkroger brought him down about a 6 or 7 yard gain, but there's a marker down.
Face masking penalty against Nebraska.
Incidentally, in the Michigan-Ohio State game, the Michigan score came on a 43-yard field goal by Ali Haji Sheik with 6 minutes to go in the first half.
Nebraska, first down.
Let's try to figure out who made had the infraction. There's Jerry Nelson. He's taking on the block. He's pushing. Well, he's got a little bit of, I don't know if the flag was thrown on Nelson, though. He's trying to get his hands away from the face mask area. I don't think the flag was on him. I think it was on someone else.
First down on the 34, and here goes Watts. Oh, what a move. He puts on that man, and he flips the ball up. This may go. Rhymes is out of bounds at the 2-yard line. What a brilliant play by J.C. Watts. Not only does he make a great move to the outside, but then just fired that ball back to Rhymes, who was the trailing back.
J.C. Watts has to have a great football game. He is really executing quite well. Watch him. He cuts inside. Nobody's for him. He cuts inside. Now watch this. He jukes inside, then back out.
And then makes the great pitch.
And then makes the great pitch to Buster Rhymes. I was waiting for it. There it goes. Now he pitches downfield to Rhymes.
First and goal to go for Oklahoma at the 4. Watts on the deep pitch. Outside goes Chet Winters. Foot race, touchdown. Oklahoma has taken the lead over a stunned Nebraska team. And it's the brilliance of quarterback J.C. Watts who's carried them down.
Let me tell you who put that play in right there. It was a split in Steve Rhodes. There's Chet Winters. I don't know if you'll see the block right there. Steve Rhodes makes that block right there on either Sammy Simpson or Russell Gary. That's what put that play in the end zone. Michael
Keeling has taken off his kicking shoe, kicks barefoot on the extra points and field goals, and it's true right through the mark. And it is now 14-10, and Oklahoma has come roaring back in this one to take the lead over the nation's 4th-ranked team in one poll, 3rd-ranked in another, and 1st in 2 others.
Well, I hope we get a chance to see that play again. Steve Rhodes, the split in, makes the great block. That was what makes the play. Everybody's got responsibilities when you're a team that runs outside. You've got to make something happen. There's got to be the right block. Steve Rhodes makes the credit. It is a great play because of what Steve did on the corner that time.
Well, of course, it was set up by the great run of Watts and the lateral back to Buster Rhymes, and then they just took it in from the 4-yard line. I rather imagine that Nebraska's defense is saying, hey, this is not your ordinary afternoon.
Isn't it odd, too? What happened when the teams had the win? That psychological and just that mental attitude about going against the wind. It is an uphill battle when you're going against it.
And they're going to have to go at it again. Jeff Quinn there on the sidelines, hands on hips next to Tom Osborne, who incidentally was named the Big 8 Coach of the Year for 1980, and we'd like to congratulate Tom. A brilliant record that he's compiled here in 8 years, and of course has carried the Cornhuskers into this game with a 9-1 record. There's an interesting shot, a high shot showing the deployment. Only 36 seconds to go 65 yards for Oklahoma. Talk about explosiveness. That wishbone can do it for you with the right people.
Any offense is just like that. You got to have the right people.
Here is Keeling. Going to kick it off barefoot. far. So it's out of the field to play the minute it touches it. And with 1:41 to go in the first half, Oklahoma has come storming back with 14 big points to lead it 14-10. Now Nebraska feeling it has to get back up on top before they go out at halftime. A lot of fans here from Norman and Oklahoma parts.
You've got to assess the football game that Nebraska outright won the first quarter. Oklahoma has really been strong in the second quarter, so it'll be about even though Oklahoma has the lead at halftime.
Jeff Quinn back to, well, looked like he was going to try to pass on first down, then sprints outside and gets 6. Harold Sandy making the stop. Number 16 there. Gary also in on the play. 2 Garys actually. Russ Gary plays for Nebraska. And Keith Gary is Oklahoma's young man. Oh, there's a clip against the Huskers. Ooh, big 15 at this point. 1:32 to go, first half. In case you joined us a little bit late on this delightful, crisp afternoon, Jarvis Redwine put Nebraska out in front with an 89-yard touchdown sprint.
Art George of Winfield.
And then a 47-yard field goal made it 10-0. But the Sooners said, hey, we're not out of that.
Flipping Nebraska to down count, second down.
Oh, it was a dead ball foul. Okay, it comes all the way back to the 13, and significantly, it cost them the down. It's 2nd and 17. Time of the utmost importance now to the Huskers. 1:27 to go in the first half. And off on the delay to Redwine, but he doesn't get much up to the 18-yard line. Richard Turner, number 96, knocked him down. Clock moving. Time called here by Oklahoma as it's put down on the 18-yard line. Boy, in the space of about 3.5 minutes, or 3 minutes actually, Oklahoma has just come roaring back. Watts on a 3-yard run for the touchdown after a nice 68-yard drive, and then Winters came right back on a 3-yard run, and that made the score 14-10. Those scores were only separated by, what, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Well, we'll be with you tomorrow with some exciting action on College Football 80 over most of these ABC stations. Ohio State, Michigan, Nebraska, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Clemson. That's turning out to be a good one. Texas and Baylor in the Southwest Conference. Stanford and Cal. The big game on the coast as far as those two rooters are concerned. And Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Incidentally, immediately following this game, you're going to see live UCLA and USC from the Coliseum. A lot of action coming up next week, too, on Thanksgiving week. Penn State and Pitt, Army-Navy. As we wind down the season of college football for 1980, it's a 3rd down and 12, and here's Quinn. Throws, got him, steals at the 31. Well, it's not enough. I don't believe, is it? It's right on the 30-yard line. Yeah, they mark it first down. First down with 1:05 to go. On count by Quinn, looking over the defense, hands it off to Redwine. He blasts in there hard, and Turner knocks him down. With 2 minutes and 2 seconds to go in Columbus in the first half, the score is still tied between Michigan and Ohio State, 3-3. Incidentally, a tie does Michigan no good in that game as far as the Rose Bowl, because the team with the better overall record is the one that would go to the Rose Bowl as the Big Ten representative. So the Wolverines will have to win it in order to go. Ohio State can win or tie it. Well, it's been all Oklahoma in this quarter, and as Steve Davis pointed out earlier, Nebraska won the first quarter.
Exactly. It was just a reverse of that in the first quarter. But I think Oklahoma was able to kind of figure out what Nebraska's doing. And one thing that I noticed about Nebraska, they did not go back to the 4-3 in the second quarter. They had a lot of success with it in the first quarter, and I have not seen it very much in the second quarter. And I'm wondering if at halftime they want to make some adjustments and go back to it, because traditionally the 4-3 has caused trouble for Oklahoma wishbone teams.
So time is in now. With a 2nd and 7, the ball is resting on the 33-yard line of the Big Red team. Trailing 14-10 to Oklahoma. Quinn now drops back, looks from the 25 and throws it deep. Steals is there, but 3 Oklahoma Sooners are on it. Gary Lowell, number 25, the strong safety, came up.
Late in the ball game, they're playing pretty well dropped off. They're having to split the field in thirds. Watch him, Steele coming across the middle. Right there, Lowe sees him, that he's got to come get him, and comes and makes the play and bats the ball away. Play action type pass. Jeff Quinn is best. The secondary stayed at home and did the right thing, and it was a great defensive play.
And the ball is given to Redwine on the delay, but again, the Sooners react quickly on the defense as Orlando Flanagan, number 53, makes the stop. 43 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. See the wind, how it blows the hair of all the people on the sideline there. A very brisk wind that Nebraska is going into. There has been no scoring here at the south end of the stadium where the wind is coming from.
Nebraska's got to kick the football now, and it's 4th down. They're having to punt against the wind. Oklahoma's going to try to get something going, maybe get a return if they possibly can. I would imagine Nebraska's going to probably try to kick it away and make them go a long way forward and try, hopefully, to prevent any type of return at all.
So Gamar will do the punting with 4th down and 5 and 43 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. I think generally speaking, the weather all over the United States, perhaps except for the Pacific Northwest, is ideal for football today, and should produce some really spectacular plays. We've had them in this game. 89-yard run by Jarvis Redwine, and then really a brilliant run by J.C. Watts after a fine catch by Rhodes. A brilliant run by J.C. Watts and a pitch back.
Nebraska's got a trick play in the punting game. It might be a good time. Oklahoma's thinking they've got to get return. Let's see what happens.
It's legit. Ooh, and it was almost blocked. What a kick. Gamar gets away. And he sends his man all the way back as Steve Rhodes had to go back. Those are really tough on a defensive safety man when that wind is blowing like it is and so fickle.
Oklahoma was coming for it. The punter Gamar got his legs back so he wouldn't get hit. Watch the pressure of the Oklahoma offensive line against the punter. Watch him kind of kick back. He says, whoa, don't get hit by anybody. He's kind of protecting himself, but that was an excellent punt. Good long punt, 51 yards against the wind.
Here's Watts. Outside he goes. First down and out of bounds at the 36. Russell Gary, number 9, running him out. Boy, he is so quick. I can't get over how fast those feet move.
It's always, you know, he's fast, but it's also a matter of who's chasing you sometimes. Bill, you got to realize you got some great defensive ends. Watch JC again, inside. Watch him make some moves. He sees he's got to jump inside. He's quick. Watch him stop, jitter, then say, I got to get out of bounds, make something happen.
Another first down for the Sooners. It's all Oklahoma here in the second quarter with 30 seconds to go, and they're leading 14-10. Bad pitch. Chuck Winters amazingly got that ball back. Gary Nelson was right on it. Oh, there's a case where they almost lost it.
What happened? Sammy Sims, the monster, number 6, the junior, came in JC's face, made him pitch a little bit quicker than he wanted to. That's probably one of the scariest things to see happen. Some secondary back coming right at your face, and then all of a sudden, watch this. Sammy Sims, number 6. Right there he is, right in JC's face. He's got to pitch quick. And it's tough all the time. This is a high-risk offense, and you can't always hit them right in the hands. In fact, I never hit them in the hands.
He was fortunate he got a good basketball bounce. I'm sure what Oklahoma is thinking right now, they know Keeling can boom that ball 40 or 50 yards with this kind of a wind behind him. They can get that ball out there anywhere inside the 40. They feel they can go for 3 and get it.
Yeah, but with 16 seconds, too, you don't want to be too risky and fumble the ball, because Nebraska, it doesn't take them long to score either. They'd have to go a long way for a field goal, but they'd sure be able to go and throw some sort of pass. It's been a good first half.
Been an excellent first half, and it's been a great traditional battle. 17-14 last year. Oklahoma won it. 17-14 the year before. Nebraska won it. They've always been tight. I'll never forget the 35-31 game as long as I live. It's hard to believe it was 9 years ago. In fact, I was talking to Bud Wilkinson about it a little bit earlier. That time he was commentating for ABC, and we were both privy to seeing that great battle. That's the end of the first half. And the crowd a little bit silenced here as Tom Osborne hurries and hustles to get to that locker room. His team trailing here. And a rather surprising second quarter as Oklahoma is leading it 14-10. And Oklahoma will have its option to begin the third quarter as whether they take the win or kick or receive. It'll be interesting to see. We'll be back with
stats are very close in total yards. 171 for Oklahoma, 195 for Nebraska. Key, no turnovers in a football game. Time of possession even. Oklahoma in the first quarter had 64 yards to Nebraska's 148. In the second quarter, just reversed that. Oklahoma had 107, Nebraska 47. So, like we said, Nebraska had the first quarter all to themselves, and then Oklahoma had the second quarter.
First score of the ball game came with 8 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the first quarter when Jarvis Redwine got outside. The ball was on the 11. The pitch goes to him, and look what he does.
He really just had the speed. The drive started at the 1 yard line. They had him pinned back on the great punt by Keeling, but he just outdistanced everybody.
Hayworth misses him.
And he just uses that 4.4 speed, and he just runs to the end zone.
Looks like, I think it's Jay Jimerson or Alan Lyday, number 18 maybe it is. But he was taunted there by Redwine. Now, Oklahoma came back after a field goal by Nebraska, put them up 10-0, and J.C. Watts on the option performs it brilliantly, gets a good block there from Wilson, and goes behind the block to score. And then a short time later, in fact less than 3 minutes later, it was Chet Winters who took it in again on another fine block by Rhodes.
Steve Rhodes made the block. The great execution by J.C. Watts on the best two starting points for Oklahoma, where they got possession on the field at the 32 and the 45. Oklahoma took both those drives the length of the field. When you give them good field position, they are tough, explosive. Touchdowns by Winters.
So their first score came with 4:17 to go in the first half, second quarter. And then the second one came just a minute and 24 seconds later. Now scores of other games as they come into us from around the country. It's still halftime at Turner, Overstreet, and Watts. Since Nebraska won the flip to begin the game and chose to defend the goal that had the wind behind it, then Oklahoma will get its option here to begin the second half of play. And the Sooners, I believe, have chosen to win. Well, you can go either way on that, I suppose. You figure, well, we'd rather have the win now rather than in the fourth quarter. It might die down a little bit in a half an hour. Who knows? Anyway, Nebraska will get the football to receive it going into the wind as Tom Osborne tries to fire his team up, trailing by 4. Oh, look at the size of Oubre.
I imagine the reason Oklahoma took the win is because they feel like probably they've got a good feel of what Nebraska's trying to do to them, at least defensively, against Oklahoma's offense. And they feel like they've got the momentum right now, and they want to try to keep that momentum. But I tell you what, it's a different ball game when you give Nebraska the wind and the football a lot in the fourth quarter. Right. They are extremely tough.
Don't forget, one of the great rivalries in football coming up right after this game, the Trojans of Southern California against the Bruins of UCLA. Live from the Coliseum with Keith Jackson and Frank Broyles. We'll be keeping you up to date on the Michigan-Ohio State game with our open line to Columbus. That game's still at halftime. It is 3-3. Keeling. Number 99 will do the booting. And everybody up, all wearing red to try to cheer on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. We might have a moment here to explain what happens if Oklahoma wins this game but should lose next week to Oklahoma State. The team that will go to the Orange Bowl will be picked by the Orange Bowl.
Well, if they get beat, if they win today, you're saying?
If Oklahoma wins today and gets beat by Oklahoma State, then the Orange Bowl, there would be a tie for the Big 8 championship, and the Orange Bowl would then pick the team.
And if Oklahoma, of course, wins, they've got to go. The Orange Bowl committee is going to wait till Oklahoma plays Oklahoma State next week, too.
Precisely. Nebraska can win it all by a victory here, but they're trailing by 4. All right, here we go. Steele and Simmons are the deep men. Michael Keeling will do the booty. Nobody's been able to do much returning of kickoffs today. That's simply because all of the look at this. Air Force leading Notre Dame 3-0 in the second period. Wouldn't that be stunning? I think Air Force has been voted each week into the bottom 10 for that funny poll that they run. Out it goes.
It's not too funny if you're in it.
And now the Cornhuskers will go to work. First play of the third period. And they'll set that backfield. They'll have Quinn back there. Senior from Ord, Nebraska. Tight end is Jeff Finn, number 87. Andre Franklin, Jarvis Redwine, Anthony Steele. Handoff goes to Andre Franklin. Last touch for 5. Orlando Flanagan bringing him down at about the 25, 26-yard line. Oklahoma has a first to its credit. First team to score 2 touchdowns against Nebraska in the 1980 season. Remember, Florida State had to kick 4 field goals and combined with a touchdown to win that one 18-14. Second down, 4. Quinn handing it off to Jarvis Redwine. There's nothing there as Mike Coast, number 48, knocks him down along with Johnny Lewis and Keith Garrett. The fans are reacting to the Air Force score that was announced here. Air Force 3, Notre Dame nothing, second quarter. Third and 2. Steele's in motion. Quick turnaround by Quinn. Pitch to Redwine, nothing there. Mike Riley put a hit on him that he can be proud of.
We talked pregame about Andre Franklin and his blocking ability. You can't hit him all the time. Watch Andre. Excellent blocker. He's going after man. He's got him zeroed in, and he misses. He goes to the inside shoulder, and he misses him this time. You're not going to hit him every time, but he is a great blocker. He really goes after him.
Scott Gamar will punt against the wind here now. Averaging 39 yards, fumbles the ball, gets it away, but it's a high kick, and it may go backwards. It goes straight up in the air and out of bounds at about the 15, maybe, well, 18-yard line. Let's see. Brethette was in there on him. Talk about a tough mistake. Watch this.
The ball hits him right where it's supposed to in the hands, and it kind of went to the side. His hands kind of gave with the football. Redwood, watch him, and he forces the bad punt straight up. The ball went almost straight up. Watch the ball. It's right, a little bit off to his right.
Yeah, it actually bowled back a little bit.
Now, that's a turnover. That's a big play.
First and 10 for Oklahoma on the Nebraska 20-yard line. Handoff goes to the lead man through it. Stanley Wilson, the fullback, and he gets it down to about the 18 before Heinlein and Waxter bring him down.
That, of course, is the reason probably why Barry Switzer went with the win, get the win, and maybe something like that would happen. We've not seen the turnover, and that will be down as a big play in the ballgame. You bet.
Minus 5 yards on that kick. Ball went up in the air and it just bowled right back as the wind took it. Now, of course, Oklahoma feels they must capitalize on this one. Timeout called by J.C. Watts, wants to get things straightened out. So the clock is stopped with 12 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the third quarter. Oklahoma leading at 14-10, and now with great field position at the 17-yard line of Nebraska with a second down and 7. And we'll be back in a moment. Fleming and Steve Davis back in Memorial Stadium, Lincoln, Nebraska. The Cornhuskers have their work cut out for them now. They have their backs into their own goal line after a muffed snap from center on a 4th down punting situation. A short kick, -5 yards, giving Oklahoma the ball. One play has netted them 3. They have it 2nd down. Here comes Watts. Takes the pitch. And out of bounds goes Chet Winters at about the 13-yard line. Dan Kroger knocked him out. So the situation now brings up a 3rd and about 3. Oklahoma feeling, of course, if they can't make it here, they feel they could get 3.
On that 2nd down play, Nebraska went into their goal line, their 6-5 type defensive look. And you really got to get outside quick if you're going to make something happen out there, because they are all stacked in there. It's very tough to make something happen. You've got to break it quick. You're not going to get it.
Watts, Wilson, Winters, and Rhymes. Watts, pitch to Rhymes, fumbles the ball. It's covered by the big red team of Nebraska at the 17-yard line as Derry Nelson grabbed the football. Listen to this crowd. Oh, they're going bananas.
Watch the play. It's a 3rd down play. Faking inside into the veer. They're trying to get the option play. The pitch to Rhymes. He missed him out of the side. The pitch was reasonably good. It should have been handled. Rhymes fumbled the ball, so it's all even again.
And
it all evens out.
Barry Switzer is not happy about that. I think that's the first turnover by Oklahoma today.
It is the first turnover.
It couldn't have come at a more opportune time for Nebraska. On the handoff, it goes to Brady. It's about 7. 12 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Oh, yeah, I tell you, it's an amazing thing about football, and I guess it's the reason that you just keep coming back year after year saying, I'm more amazed, I'm more amazed. You see a team with momentum, they got the ball, and they're ready to go in and either get 3 or 7, and boom, one little mistake, and the tables have completely turned around. 2nd down and 3. Nebraska trailing 14-10. And off goes Andre Franklin. He's got a 1st down at the 29-yard line. Johnny Lewis, number 95, the middle guard, knocked him down.
Nebraska's trying to do what they set out to do in the very first part of the ball game, is try to establish their running game, go inside, go outside, make things happen, give Oklahoma a lot of different looks, and try to get their running game going, and that's what they're doing. And they've got momentum right now. That's probably what Switzer was more upset about than anything else, the fact that momentum shifts.
1st down on the 29-yard line. Andre Franklin grinds off 5 more. Mike Riley, number 50, making the stop.
Here's a picture of the linebackers. Watch the guards fire out on the linebackers. They keep their blocks and just keep pushing those linebackers and stand in front of those people and move them one way and make Andre make his movements and try to judge their blocks and make the cut the opposite direction.
2nd down, 5 to go for Nebraska. That's their own 34-yard line. And off goes Andre Franklin once again. And Mike Riley pulls him down, but it's a 1st down. 14 yards.
Watch Franklin, the quick hitting trap play again. It's the trap play just inside, blast right through the linebackers. Good offensive play by Remington and Schlossner on the blocking up front. That's the play. Watch the guard. The guard pulls. There's the trap. Perfect play. And right up the middle of the linebackers. That was the play Oklahoma was more concerned about. He is so good on that play.
It's a 1st down for Nebraska. Quinn spins. Pitches it deep to Redwine. Redwine is down after getting over the yard. Closing pass was Orlando Flanagan, number 53.
Since the big play in the first quarter on Redwine's long run, Oklahoma's done very well as we see the tied ball game. Notre Dame 3-3 now. But Oklahoma's played very well pursuing Jarvis Redwine, and they've caused Nebraska to go inside a lot more with Andre Franklin.
3-3 as Notre Dame has tied up the Air Force. Michigan has just recovered an Ohio State fumble on the 43-yard line. That game is 3-3 in Columbus. Wolverines with the ball in Ohio State territory in the third quarter. In this game, second down and 9. Nebraska trailing 14-10. Went over the middle. This is his man. Too high, intended for Anthony Steele. And it brings up a third down and 9. Oklahoma, a team that traditionally has led the nation in fumbles, much to their disgust, really, because it's a high-risk offense. They handle the ball a lot. The option, of course, with those dangerous pitchbacks, but they've only had one fumble, one turnover today.
Yeah, the first 5 games of the season, Oklahoma fumbled 33 and lost 18. The last 4, they've only fumbled 11 and lost 6.
Big play for the Big Red. Third and 9. Quinn fires over the middle. And there's going to be interference. Darryl Sonji, number 16, was closing in on Todd Brown, number 29. Gave him a pretty good bump. And I would guess if we look at it again, you'd agree that it was interference.
You look for Sonji. Is he going through the receiver for the football, or is he nudging before the pass? Watch Sonji, 16, come into the play. Watch, there he is. No, that's exactly. Good call by the referees. You cannot, if you're going for the ball through the receiver, you can do it. But that time he nudged him before the ball was there and actually not going for the football. First
down on the 42-yard line. Nebraska has moved it now after recovering the fumble at the 17. They've moved it out into Oklahoma territory. 10 minutes to go, third quarter. 2 tight end offense, and Quinn spins, throws it deep. He's got a man down the sidelines. It is overthrown by a foot. Jeff Quinn rifled that ball to Todd Brown, who was racing down the sidelines. He had his man beat by 2 steps.
Quinn had an unbelievable expression. He jumped about a foot. Watching the fact, the good delay. Now he knows Brown's breaking deep, just running the fly pattern real deep. And watch the pass. He had him beat, overthrew him just a little bit. He was probably trying to throw against the wind, trying to compensate, and the ball was a little bit too far outstretched over Todd Brown's fingers.
It's second and 10. The ball is on the 42-yard line of Oklahoma. Nebraska is trailing 14-10. Handoff goes to Franklin. Quick hitter, gets 4. Did you see the center Remington fire out on that one? In fact, he's so fast, Steve, that it almost looks like there's somebody who's jumped offside.
I wanted to comment on that. When he snaps the ball, he just really explodes. Watch how fast he pops. Watch the center. Watch the center. He's already making contact. The ball just getting to Quinn. Now watch Andre Franklin pop inside. Watch Mike Coase trying to take him on. Well, we're not going to see it maybe later.
Third down and 4. Remington's a sophomore. Oh, what great potential. Franklin stopped short of the first down at the 35-yard line. That brings up a 4th and a critical 2.5 yards for Nebraska.
Seems like Remington, when he snaps the ball, he just uses the ball as momentum to thrust him into the nose guard.
So here comes Steele in the lineup. Todd Brown reports back in. Tom Osborne, one of the most inventive coaches in college football, is going to have to call something here that'll work. 4th down, 2.5 yards to go. The ball at the 35 of Oklahoma. Nebraska trailing 14-10. Quick pitch back to Redwine. Tough play. And Mike Riley comes in and shoulders him down as he loses 3 yards on the play. Keith Gary made penetration, number 92, but it was Riley who really threw the shoulder in there. I wonder about the wisdom of pitching back when you've got to go forward.
I really anticipated Andre Franklin, something on the quick hitter, the trap play. That's what they like to use at the goal line, and I thought they might come up with that. You have to compliment them. They've done very well playing against a great Nebraska offensive football team.
I think it'll be interesting to hear from Ricky Bernstein, our statistician, as to what Nebraska has done after the first quarter, after rolling up, 133 yards in the first quarter. Since that time, they have really been shut down. First down for Oklahoma. Jimmy Williams, who's been playing an outstanding game today, drops Stanley Wilson.
Momentum just shifts back and forth. You would think Oklahoma would get it, and then a big play on defense by Nebraska. That's what has made this game the kind of the football game it has been since 1971.
I might add that the voice you're hearing today is that of Steve Davis, who was a former Oklahoma quarterback. And Steve would attest to your great objectivity that you're reporting in such an objective way on this particular game. Here's Watts, tossed too low for Bobby Grayson. In the 3 years that Steve Davis played as the Oklahoma quarterback, they won 2 national championships and also beat Nebraska, as I recall, 3 years in a row. So the man knows from which he speaks.
This is the first week I've ever come to Lincoln, Nebraska, and my head hasn't hurt. It's good to be up here today.
It's the first time you've ever been allowed into the Nebraska chalk rooms and film rooms.
Exactly.
But it's a 3rd down and 9 situation now as J.C. Watts fumbles the ball, grabs it, but it brings up a 4th down. After unerring football for the better part of 2.5 quarters, Oklahoma's had a little trouble hanging on to it.
It looked like J.C. never... Oh, no, okay. It looked like J.C. never really got the football. The ball was snapped, and he's scrambling for it. I thought they might have been trying to pull something on Nebraska, but no.
It might have been trying to the guard around play. Here's the boot by Michael Keeling. Sails it down deep, and it goes into the end zone. So it puts Nebraska again back on the 20-yard line to go against a strong wind after a 66-yard boot. 7 minutes, 22 seconds to go, 3rd quarter, and the Sooners are still leading it, 14-10.
Copier companies have been...
First down and 10 on the 20-yard line as Nebraska comes out now. 7:22 to go in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 4. Roger Craig has gone in for Jarvis Redwine as the I-back. He's behind Franklin. Ball goes to Craig, but that is about as far as he can get to the 21-yard line. Johnny Lewis making the stop along with Keith Gary. 95 and 92 are their numbers. Look at Remington fire out here.
He just really, when he propels the ball back to the quarterback, he just uses it and kind of catapults his body into the nose guard. Really is explosive. They've got in the front 5 offensive linemen. They've got 4 young men that are first-year starters. So they've got a line that's very talented. But they've got some people that weren't around last year playing.
I remember Rick Bonas when he was an All-America center back in 74 and 75. Remington could well follow in his footsteps. 22, 23-yard line. Incidentally, in the Michigan-Ohio State game, Michigan now has the ball down on the Ohio State 14-yard line with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and that game still all tied. And now the Wolverines have moved it down to the 13-yard line, and we'll keep you up to date on that game. 3rd down here, 7 to go. Well, this has been a dandy game right from the very beginning. Nebraska jumped off with a 10-0 lead. Oklahoma's gone back on top 14-10, and here is Quinn looking. Throws to the sideline. He's got Craig Johnson, and he's buckled right at the 27-yard line. Harold Sonji comes up and makes certain. Another look.
What's the play? Jeff Quinn drops back, rolls to his left just a little bit. Looks downfield, then drops it off to Craig Johnson, number 30. Watch Sonji, 16, come up, make the play where they don't get the 1st and 10. Then Jay Jemerson's also there. There's Jay Jemerson putting the stick on him, forcing Nebraska to the punt.
Scott Gamar has been a busy man after not having the punt at all in the 1st quarter. He's been very busy. He makes sure this time he fumbled the last one, but the kick is a bad kick. Right off the side of his foot as he shakes it out of bounds at the 41-yard line in his own territory. Well, coming up on NFL's Monday Night Football, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, the Rams against the Saints over most of these ABC stations. As the NFL season begins to wind down, and boy, it looks like it's going to be a fantastic finish, just like it is in college football.
Bill, what we said in our pre-game show, in the big ball games, and when you've got great offenses, usually who comes into prominence are the defenses, the big play, and the defense. And the kicking game, I'm sorry. And the kicking game, the punts, the 2 bad punts, have really, the miscues have been different.
Gamar's last punt was exactly 14 yards. The one before that was -5. So give him 9 for 2 or a 4.5-yard average. That's got to kill you.
got to have all phases of the ball game have got to work together. In the big ball game, sometimes those little things are what makes the difference.
Michigan has just scored against Ohio State. And would you believe, of course, it's that combination of John Wangler to Anthony Carter. A 13-yard scoring pass, and Michigan has gone up on top. 9-3. We'll wait and see about the point. And right now, it's Watts who is really level. He was lucky to get that ball to Winters as Sammy Sims came in and knocked Watts down, and Derry Nelson was covering Winters. Boy, there is some brilliant defense.
Here you get a big picture. Watch JC. They do a little switch stunt. The Sims comes inside. JC pitches quick, and the defensive end jumps outside on him. It's a what they call a 2-3 stunt where they're stacked, and they switch, and they come out and get you.
And here is Watts dancing around, and he's hit from the side and knocked down at the 44-yard line. There was a fellow by the name of Sims a year ago who was brilliant for Oklahoma. At that point, however, Watts did not want to meet the Sims of Nebraska. And now it brings up a 4th down, and the Nebraska defense has held. So Michael Keeling will come in. Now what he'll try to do is angle this ball out of bounds. He knows that all he has to do is just barely touch it, and the wind will sail it out. Doesn't want it to go too far. Aims for the right sidelines. Oh, got too good a foot into it, and it'll be 1st and 10 on the 20. So the clock has stopped. We have 3 minutes, 32 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And the Sooners are still up on top, 14-10. Shit. Well, that was a good look at the update on the Michigan-Ohio State game as Carter scored his 14th touchdown of the year. And now we're back to this one. A great ball game as Nebraska is trailing 14-10. The Cornhuskers have the ball, but in another 3.5 minutes, they're going to have the win in the 4th quarter. Redwine gets a couple. That's about all. Whether we can see that flak vest he has on or not, but yeah, you can see it. Wearing it on the almost on the outside. J.C. Watts on the sideline, getting a well-deserved rest. For the first time this afternoon, a man is down. Dan Hurley, offensive right tackle. This game has been really injury-free. And it usually is late in the season like this. Conditioning and teams are rock hard. It looks like an ankle.
Bill, we were talking about Redwine and what he's done in this football game. He's carried the ball 17 times for 138 yards. Only 12 yards in the last 11 rushes. Oklahoma's defense have really shut down and kind of clamped down on him. Jarvis Redwine.
We see that flak vest a little more there. I don't know how much of a hindrance. He used to wear it underneath the jersey, and you could see a noticeable bulge there, and he said it did bother him a little bit on carrying the football. Still 3-3 at halftime, Air Force and Notre Dame. And as these scores continue on the screen at the timeout for the injury, Michigan has just intercepted Art Schleister's pass. And Michigan got 17 yards on the first play, so they've moved the ball down into Ohio State territory. Overstreet has been in the lineup today on a limited basis, suffering from a hamstring pull. 2nd down and 6. And probably on the audible as Franklin doesn't get much. Johnny Lewis knocks him down. I believe it's Mike Bruce there playing number 76. We're trying to get the replacement here for Dan Hurley. A lot of things happening today. Trying to keep you abreast of scores from out of town as well as the Michigan-Ohio State game. With a 3rd down and 4, the ball is resting on the 26-yard line. We have 2:37 to go, and Nebraska just waiting to get that ball at the wind in the 4th quarter. Here's Quinn. Good effort. 1st down. Great play as Mike Riley put the stop on him, but he got it up to the 32-yard line. Well, I'll tell you, Jeff Quinn has been really the difference this year. I asked him earlier about how he felt about not being named All-America or not even being named to the All-Conference first or second team. So it didn't bother him a bit. And he really meant it. He wasn't just kidding. He's been the difference this year, carrying Nebraska to a lofty position in college football. Handoff to Franklin. Keith Gary, number 92, makes the stop.
That play to get the 1st and 10, Bill. Previous quarterbacks, Nebraska quarterbacks, and not to knock certainly the talents of David Humm or Vince Ferragamo, probably would not have gotten that play. Jeff Quinn's individual effort, his personal running ability, what made the thing happen on that and get him a 1st and 10, and now they've got the 2nd and 9.
Oklahoma guessed right. They overshifted that side of the field, and Red Wine is down at the 37-yard line. So that little bit of a defensive movement. They've been actually uncanny in their defense.
Oklahoma's not stunted a whole lot today. One of the reasons is because they've had problems in their secondary. A lot of people have been banged up and hurt. They've probably, most of the season, have not had their first-line players in there all year. As we're looking at Jarvis Red Wine kind of getting a rest a little bit.
It's to me like he's hurting a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to be favoring that those ribs. He's been doing a lot of punishing inside running today, too. Except for that 89-yard burst in the first quarter. As Steve pointed out, he's been pretty well held down. 3rd down, 6. Quick little toss, and Franklin can't hang on to it. Andre Franklin couldn't hang on to the ball. Darryl Sonji, pretty good hit on him there. So it's 4th down. Gamar, who got 14 yards the last punt, and fumbled the snap and only got -5 on the one prior to that, has kicked 6 times today for an average of 28 yards. Needs a good one here. Ball maybe do funny things with that wind as it comes back to him. So that's a wobbly kick. Touched by Nebraska at the 38-yard line, and that's where Oklahoma will have the football. So with the clock moving, we have about 36 seconds to go. Coming up, the Trojans of Southern California against the Bruins of UCLA. Marcus Allen, one of the great runners in college football for USC. Against UCLA, I don't know whether Kenny Easley and Freeman McNeil, their great defensive back and great running back, will be able to play today for UCLA. It'll be interesting to see. Here we go, 1st and 10. Oklahoma with the ball and with the lead as we move into the final 36 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Watts, trapped, loses the ball, covered by Nebraska. Henry Wexter, number 75, was out there, and he came up with the football. And now Nebraska has a great break, because with only 27 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, they'll have the ball in the 36.
Barry Switzer said Oklahoma would have to get lucky and not lay the ball on the ground. Watching JC gets a lot of pressure from different people. He feels the pressure. Now he gets the ball away from his body. And he pops the ball loose. And then Waxter is going to fall on it, gets to it first, beats Stanley Wilson to the ball. Nebraska's in business.
Waxter is 6'6", 267. He's got a lot of big body to put on it. And breaking away is Andre Franklin. Gets it down to the 17-yard line. Basil Banks, number 10, saved the touchdown. A quick opener by Andre Franklin. Look at this hole. It opens quickly for him.
Again, it's a quick hitting trap play. Andre Franklin just pops through the middle. They split the linebackers, and he breaks into the secondary. And Basil Banks has to bring him down.
And the Nebraska players calling for quiet as Jeff Quinn comes up with a 1st down on the 16-yard line. Jeff Finn and Steve Davies, 2 tight ends are in. And they may be called here no, it's the quarter. Thought it for a moment they might have been called for too much time. So that's the end of the quarter. And NCAA college football, Oklahoma and Nebraska, will continue after this commercial message. And also a word from our local stations.
May I
speak to Mr. Little?
Yes, he's expecting your call. I know where to reach him.
With the ComKey system, your secretary can make conference calls, so even when you're out of the office, you won't miss important calls.
Hi! The merger's on. From now on, we're Ford and Little.
Gee, I kind of thought Little and Ford.
Well, you know, F comes before L.
The ComKey system by Western Electric. It saves you time and money.
Tall guys first, little guys second.
Only from the Bell system.
I don't think so, no.
Hey, Norm, when it comes to switching to natural light, add me to the roster.
Tony Jurgensen, good to see you. Did you switch for the all-natural ingredients?
No, I switched for the taste. Now,
What a golden opportunity for the Big Red team from Nebraska. Trailing 14-10, they have a first down on the 15-yard line. And Michigan now going into the fourth quarter leads Ohio State 9-3. Well, remember doing a Michigan game 30 years ago in that stadium, on the roof of that stadium in a howling blizzard, and the final score was 9-3. First and 10, Nebraska knocking on the door. Andre Franklin has the hole plugged up on him after getting to. Johnny Lewis, number 95, brings him down. Again, let's emphasize, the wind has now gone to the back of the Cornhuskers. A strong wind from the south. I don't know whether you can tell it from the flags, but they have been absolutely straight out. There it is. There's a graphic example of what these guys have been suffering with, passing-wise, kicking-wise. There'll be a lot of wind-burdened cheeks down there in that north end, I'll tell you. Second down and 8. Nebraska just beginning the fourth quarter. Quinn giving it to Steele. Outside he goes. Oh, check that. Quinn still has the ball. A great fake by Anthony Steele. And Quinn kept the ball and is knocked down by number 48, Mike Coase. There's a bit of a sleight of hand that would have thrilled Blackstone the magician. Watch this.
Watch Jeff Quinn, the quarterback, just put the ball, protect it where nobody from Oklahoma can see it. Right there, the lowest numbers. And then he just turns to the outside. There's good pursuit. But Jeff Quinn put that play in with Anthony Steele complimenting on the good fake.
Well, I think if we possibly have the fake that Anthony Steele's carried out. Now, that's the whole thing in deception, is you can't be over anxious to look back and see what happened. What you have to do is continue that fake as Anthony Steele's did. And the man who was down on the ground was the one who captured Anthony Steele. Whether we can see that on the other replay or not.
There's another point, though, Bill. Anthony Steele, he sees, he's faking, and he makes the right fake and everything. But Jeff Quinn's the brave guy. He's got to turn his back to the Oklahoma defense. It takes the block, takes the great fakes of both of them.
So the man down on the ground is Steve Quayle, who made the stop over there, and he is getting back up, and we'll be back in just a moment.
You know, choosing business insurance can be a slippery...
Now let's take a look at the complimenting fakes here, Steve.
Watch Anthony Steele. Watch him fake. He looks like he's got the football in his right arm and pumping. There, Jeff Quinn puts it, hides it away, and then makes the big play.
So it's a third down and 4. The ball is on the 9-yard line. On count. Hand off to Franklin. Snagged from behind. Gets it down to about the 7. Richard Turner making the stop. Ooh, the pressure is really on now, as Nebraska has the ball on the 6.5-yard line. Let's call it the 7. They've got to go to the 5.
Remember what Nebraska ran earlier on a fourth down situation. They went outside with red wine. Let's see this time if they decide to go inside with the quick hitting play with Andre Franklin, the trap play.
Todd Brown goes out wide to the right. Red wine is lined up behind Franklin. Oklahoma moving, crouching, trying to plug the holes. Hand off to Red Wine. He is stopped. Slammed to the ground by Mike Coase, number 48. And Oklahoma takes over the football against the nation's leading rushing team. What a stop by Mike Coase. Boy, he handled him just like a sack of flour.
Well, I tell you, Mike Coase, the linebackers for Oklahoma have played exceptionally well today. Watch Red Wine. He's trying to go over the top. Coase just in a crouched position, ready to take him on, and he hits him high, so he's able to push him back. If you hit him low, he's liable to fall forward for yardage. You hit him high around the upper body, and you make a good play, and you can drive him back.
13 minutes and 4 seconds to go as Oklahoma has stopped Nebraska. Oklahoma tries it inside as Stanley Wilson just gets his nose on the 10, and that's about it. 12 minutes, 55 seconds to go in this one. Nebraska jumped off to a 10-0 lead in the first quarter. Oklahoma came back with 14 points in the second. There was no scoring in the third. And now we have 12:45 to go in the ball game. Oklahoma sending Bobby Grayson back in for Steve Rhodes. Nebraska dominating that third quarter, but not being able to punch it in. Hoping now to cause another Oklahoma fumble. They've lost to 2. Watts ducks inside of the 12, and that's about it. Jimmy Williams making the stop on him, number 96, the defensive left end. Toby Williams also making the stop.
Again, J.C. Force-Valora makes the block. It's a veer block type. They're trying to get J.C. on the run. The halfback makes the block on the defensive end, and J.C. just tries to cut inside and get some yards. Nebraska's linebackers are playing well. They're flowing, and they're going to the outside. Nebraska's got a good scheme against the Oklahoma Wishbone.
And a very important play here for Oklahoma with a 3rd down and 7 on their own 12. Handoff goes through to Stanley Wilson, and a 1st down at the 24-yard line as Russell Gary made the stop. What a quick opening and a quick reacting run by Wilson.
Watch Stanley Wilson to the left, number 32, the fullback. He just pops inside. They make the block. Nebraska was thinking outside for Oklahoma, and again, the quick-hitting fullback. Both football teams defensively looked at each other's opponents offensively and said, we've got to stop the quick-hitting fullback play.
1st down for Oklahoma, and a big one it was, too. 11 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Handoff goes to Buster Rhymes, and he gets out to about the 35-yard line, close to another 1st down. Gary Nelson, number 92. Tom Osborne looking a bit more nervous as he wears a path on the far sideline. 1st down.
Buster Rhymes came into the football game for Oklahoma, rushing for 469 yards, averaging 7.3 yards every time he carried the football. David Overstreet, Jarvis Redwine, for the number of rushes they carried, averaged 7.2 each.
Oh, Oklahoma right end jumped offside. The right tackle it is, number 61, Ed Colbert. That'll cost him 5. Ohio State has just missed on a field goal attempt by Yanakiewski. And so in that game, Michigan is still leading in the 4th quarter. 12:09 to go in the ball game, and Michigan's leading 9-3.
Movement in the line. Oklahoma, 1st down.
Coming up, Trojans of Southern California against the Bruins of UCLA. You've seen both of those teams this year. UCLA shutting out Ohio State earlier in the season. You'll see the Trojans in 2 weeks against Notre Dame. Stanley Wilson blasting up for about 4 as Toby Williams brings him down. Louis Oubre, number 66, is the man who lays the block here.
Is an all Big 8 performer. Been All-American on a lot of teams. Big leader. Good size, 262, pushes his weight around. His 3-year starter. Fairly good.
2nd and 11 for Oklahoma. Watts gets the blitz. Down he goes as Jimmy Williams once again blasts through and knocks him down for about a 6-yard loss. All the way back to the 30-yard line. 10 minutes to go. Well, there are all kinds of get-ups out here today.
We
like
talked
Halloween replay.
We talked about the defensive ends in this football game. They have been, we've called their names several times. Jimmy Williams especially has played an excellent football game. He has made some big plays.
3rd down. Outside goes Wilson. He is hit so hard there was a helmet was flying there, and the crowd on the far side of the field thought it might have been a football. Sammy Sims on the hit. One thing about Wilson, he gives you every ounce, every second, and he may have been shaken up on that play. He's still down on one knee.
That was his helmet that popped off.
He did get rattled. Boy, he's been just great today. Oklahoma traditionally this year has been a very high-scoring team in the fourth quarter. Of their 294 points, 101 have come in the fourth period. Keeling's done a great job. The battle of the punters, I guess we'd have to give the edge to Keeling.
Oklahoma was concerned coming to the ball game. He has had some problems with inconsistency through the year, but he has played very well today. He's punted well. Oh,
the wind is really gusting. I don't know whether you saw that balloon go floating down there. It must have been going 35 miles an hour as it went right across and it distracted him. And I think he just wanted to get calmed down here for just a second. 9 minutes, 23 seconds to go. Keeling knows that a lot of pressure is on him right now. If he can put that ball deep and make Nebraska go back, let's say, for maybe the 18 to 20 yard line, make a lot of difference. Coming up on College Football 80 this weekend, some traditional battles, which we hope you'll join us for over most of our ABC stations. This game, of course, the Ohio State-Michigan game, South Carolina-Clemson, Texas-Baylor, Stanford, California, Mississippi State, and Mississippi. Incidentally, Mississippi State is anxiously awaiting the outcome of this game because the loser could go to the Sun Bowl, depending upon, as we mentioned earlier, what could happen next week if Oklahoma wins here.
That Oklahoma timeout is because Oklahoma only had 10 men on the field. Mr. Keeling wanted a little additional help.
And he puts his foot into it, gets a good kick away. Has enough pop to it, takes the return man, Dave Legal, back to about the 28, 29 yard line. And that's where Nebraska will take over the football. 9 minutes, 15 seconds to go, and they're 4 down. Tied the Irish 3-3 in that historic game at Grant Field of Atlanta. The only real blemish on the Notre Dame record. 1st and 10 for Nebraska. On the 28-yard line, trailing 14 to 10. Quick opener. Andre Franklin spins through it. Well, that's about the quickest 8 yards I've seen all day. Franklin really moves through those holes. He's gained 94 yards today. But Nebraska is trailing. 8 minutes, 48 seconds to go. A little unbalanced line to the left. Franklin, first down. At the 41, Keith Gary, number 92, makes the stop. What a workhorse Andre Franklin has been. Yards for him today. Not bad for a blocking fullback in the I formation. Quinn on the quick turn, gives it to Redwine, fumbles the ball, but it goes out of bounds. Ooh, they're lucky they went to the short side of the field on that one.
Watch Jeff Quinn. He'll turn around. The reason he hesitates, he's waiting on his guard to make the pull, Mandelko, to get out in front of him so he can make the block. The ball hits Redwine in the right place, but I think he was concentrating on the linebacker, Coast, that was standing right there in front of him. That wasn't Coast. Somebody else.
Second down. And 9 on the 43-yard line. Now the pitch goes back, and Quinn throws. It is caught. Steele has the ball on a first down at the 41-yard line of Oklahoma. The ball going from Quinn to Redwine, back to Quinn, and then he throws to Steele.
Well, there's one of the 12 trick plays Nebraska has in the repertoire. Look at Jarvis gets the ball, comes right back to Quinn. He's going to wait and find Steele, his wing back, 33. Outside, plenty of cushion, plenty of room. He makes the catch. Watch this. Jeff Quinn, he'll hand it to Jarvis Redwine. He just kind of looks around, gets the ball right back, is ready to throw it.
16 yards on the play. First down on the 42-yard line of Oklahoma. Nebraska's trailing 14 to 10. Quinn shovels on the inside. It's blocked for him, and he only gets a yard before he's knocked to the ground by number 95, middle guard Johnny Lewis. And number 53 there, who has played a heck of a game, is Orlando Flanagan.
Flanagan's the only player on the Oklahoma football team doesn't have his name on the back of the jersey. The people that made up the names spelled his name incorrectly, so he doesn't have it on the back of his jersey.
I can't stand to see Fleming with only
one M. People usually don't misspell mine.
2nd and 9 for Nebraska. Quinn behind protection. Over the middle. As his man. First down. Anthony Steele comes through again at the 28-yard line. 13 yards.
The 12th man, Moe, just jumped on Nebraska's back. Watch Quinn drop straight back. He's going to split right behind the zone, behind the linebackers, and hit Anthony Steele on the crossing route right across the middle. Good throw, good catch, excellent protection. Watch the protection. Quinn has got all day to throw the ball. Watch this. Sets, plants his feet, throws a perfect strike right between the linebackers, Riley and coach.
Steele has 3 catches today for 41 yards, and it's another first down. Quinn looks, throws. There's a marker down as Jeff Finn caught the ball. I saw some movement there, but I thought it might have been Remington, the center, who, again, fires out so fast you think it's an interior man moving. Let's see what it is.
The penalty was thrown in the secondary. I think it's going to be against Oklahoma. Let's see if we can see anything, what happens. Jeff Quinn again, faking to his back. Jeff Quinn's a good faker, good leader, ball control man. He just really has a good feel for what's going on in the field. The flag was thrown in the secondary. I saw it darting across, but here it is again. Let's see if we can find it this time. Look at Quinn fake. That is a poised senior quarterback, Orton, Nebraska. Hits his big tight end across the middle, and where's the flag coming? There it is. I see the flag.
Well, I see what it was. I think it was a face mask. Looked like the left hand may have been up high on Jeff Finn by the tackler.
Maybe on some
back judge out there saw it, obviously.
We have defensive pass interference. Oklahoma beyond where the pass was completed. That makes it first down at that spot.
Also, he was fooling around with a deep man.
I think it might have been somebody on Todd Brown who was pretty much taking the secondary out of the area where Finn was crossing on the for the tight end play for the pass.
All right, that clock keeps relentlessly moving as the anxious Nebraska fans watch it at 6:30. First down. 18 big yards to go. Franklin gets about 4 or 5 of those as he's brought down by Orlando Flanagan at about the 14, 13-yard line, let's call it.
Boy, there have been some late-game heroics in this football game. 1971, the great play by Taggy across, Taggy to Kenny in 1972 was a great ball game in the late part of the ball game. 76 was another year. Billy Sims' fumble that everybody remembers.
2nd down and 5. The ball is on the 13-yard line. Nebraska trailing by 4 in the 4th quarter. 5:50 to play. Franklin fumbles the ball. It's covered at the 1-yard line, and it looks like Nebraska has it. It was fumbled forward, and there was a red-shirted player at the 1-yard line. No, it is Oklahoma. Who's on the bottom of the pile? Everybody wants to know.
He'll come up with the ball, whoever it is. Looks like
Daryl Sonji, number 16, at the 1-foot line. Can you believe that? Well, earlier, Switzer said he had to be lucky. He was lucky.
You know, I love the fresh, clean smell of barley because I can almost taste the Schlitz beer I'm going to make from it.
As Nelson hits it.
Gary is the one pops the ball. He's right there. 92 pops the ball. There the ball pops loose. Now look at 16 Sanji. He's coming into the picture, hits the back of the referee, and the ball pops under him right there.
Schleisner almost had a hand on it.
Here it is again.
53.
Watch Andre Franklin. Watch the ball. Schleisner's going to try to go after it. Sanji will come into your picture. He hits one of the referees, and then he pops the ball, pops right under him. Oklahoma, Barry Switzer said he's got to have some luck.
5 minutes, 44 seconds to go. And Watts just worms his way out of the end zone to about the 1.5-yard line. What a turn of events. Nebraska with momentum, moving down, had the ball. And Franklin, their most reliable guy, looked like he had a head of steam, and all of a sudden Gary hit him, the ball popped loose, and there you saw what happened.
Is that the first fumble Nebraska's had today?
It's the first one they've lost.
Yes. fumble first when they block.
Second down. Watts just grinds it out. He doesn't want to take any chances or any fooling around with handoffs or anything else. Nebraska knows, of course, it's going to get the ball back if they can just keep the pressure on down deep. Checking into the lineup now on the Oklahoma offense is number 61, right tackle Ed Coleman, going in for Lindell Byford. 4 minutes, 55 seconds to play. The Sooners leading 14-10. They won last year 17-14. Not much. Chet Winters was almost forced back into the end zone, and it brings up a 4th down. Oklahoma punt coming up.
What's the play? Nebraska almost stuffs him right back in the end zone. Winters, he gets right there. He's trying to go backwards, but he barely keeps his feet going and tries to get some yardage. This is a big play.
You bet. Michael Keeling with a lot of pressure. He's only a yard inside the end line. Boy, what a shot that is. Squirts off the left side of his foot. It's a terrible kick. It's going to go out inside the 20. His first really bad kick of the day of 14 yards. And now the pressure once again goes on Oklahoma. 4 minutes, 26 seconds to go. Well, here's what Michael Keeling did with the ball. Watch his leg cross over and hit it.
He didn't have all the type distance he normally gets, and he hurried his kick, and that forces it outside. You've got to make things happen. He was getting pressure, and he knew he had to hurry, and he hurries, and sometimes you don't get your best kicks.
And so Nebraska has new life at the 17-yard line with 4:26 to go, and they're trailing 14-10, 4th quarter. Quinn looks to the outside, pitches it deep. Redwine gets it down to the 7-yard line. Jay Jimerson made the stop, close to a 1st down.
And remember, years through the 1970s, except for Jerry Taggy, they have not had this play in their offense. Watch it go to Jarvis Redwine. He sees a seam. He's got Oklahoma spread out. They're in pursuit, but he just cuts inside, protects the ball. He's wanting to get a touchdown.
And if this is good, it'll be 1st and goal to go for Nebraska. Jarvis Redwine ignited things in the 1st quarter for Nebraska with an 89-yard touchdown run. So it's 1st and goal to go. The ball is midway between the 6 and 7-yard line. That's it. 4:15. Redwine deep behind Andre Franklin. Jeff Quinn looking over the defense. Oklahoma massed up there, expecting Andre Franklin on the inside, and that's what they get. But he gets it down to the 3-yard line. Richard Turner bringing him down, and it'll be 2nd and goal to go with the ball on the 3. 3 minutes, 54 seconds to go. But there was a marker down on the far side, and it is against Oklahoma on the preliminary signal. Personal foul.
Let's see if we can find out what happened. Tight shot on Quinn. Quick hitting play to Andre Franklin.
There it is, face mask. See it? Face mask right there on the tackle. Moves the ball down to the 1.5-yard line. Now, I tell you, that shows you how sharp the officials really are.
1-yard line. Okay, we have a dead ball foul, personal foul. Oklahoma, 1st down.
1st down on the 1.5. It would take a miracle to keep Nebraska out of the end zone now, but stranger things have happened.
Watch the quick hitting track play, Andre Franklin.
Now, Redwine likes to dive. I think one of the great divers of all time was Billy Sims. Boy, he used to fly over those lines. Redwine likes to do the same thing. I have a feeling, just like you do, Steve, that Andre Franklin, with the tremendous compactness and leg drive that he has, would be the guy to call on. First and goal to go on the 1.5-yard line as Nebraska's trailing 14-10. Franklin gets close, but does not get in as Johnny Lewis spins him back. And the tension continues to build.
Nebraska fans are wanting to score. This score has been 14-10 since 43 seconds remaining in the first quarter. At least the last score Nebraska had was at 43 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Then Oklahoma came back the second quarter and scored a couple.
3.5 minutes to go in the Michigan-Ohio State game. 3 minutes and 25 seconds to go in this one. Second down on the half-yard line. Quinn makes it himself. Touchdown! Nebraska, and the stadium absolutely erupts. Memorial Stadium artificial surface is covered with oranges. Jeff Quinn, senior quarterback, decided to take it in himself from the half-yard line, and he squeezed his way the last possible ounce into the end zone. 3:16 to go. Seibel will try the kick.
This is an important extra point play.
I guess so.
16-14. They miss it. Oklahoma could win it with a field goal.
Something going on over there on that. I think the official was knocked down, or else he slipped.
Or bombed by an orange. Might have been hit with something. Look at him.
He might have been. That's the most foolish thing in the world, to throw an object onto a football field or a baseball field or anything. And it's just nothing like a missile. First of all, the people who are throwing it have all the advantage of height, so they have all the momentum going for them. And you take an orange, it's as heavy as a baseball, to do a lot of serious damage. Here is Seibel. I couldn't hear all of that. Maybe you could, Steve.
He basically told them to cut all this throwing the oranges, or the ball game may not continue. Keeping perfect control of the ball game.
Boy, it's been a beautifully officiated game. Vance Carlson, the referee. Here's one of the ironies. If this ball should go through and the ball game should wind up this way, it'd be the third straight year, can you believe it, that it's been 17-14? 2 years ago, Nebraska won 17-14. Oklahoma had a 17-14 win in Norman last year. 17-14 Nebraska now. With 3 minutes and 16 seconds to go. Let's look at the touchdown from all different angles.
Jeff Quinn using his 6'2", 207 pounds, going behind Dave Remington, just barely keeping his leg drive. He's off the weight from Nebraska, and he also gets a little bit of help from the backside. Let's see what the defense is saying. Everybody's crouched down, barely trying to make something happen. Most people thought that it might come inside. They're trying to stand him up and push, but Andre Franklin and Jarvis Redwine are pushing on the other side.
You see Jarvis out here signaling touchdown. He knew it.
Andre Franklin was pushing up. Okay, watch again. Watch Andre Franklin give his quarterback a little push. Watch him come in from the backside. He sees his quarterback, watch him start to push him. Get in there, he says. Yeah, there's the push. Excellent. Touchdown, big play. Nebraska didn't have to go far for it. Kicking game.
That possibly could be construed as an infraction, because you're not allowed to aid or abet by pushing a ball carrier. He's on your team.
Now, when there's that many guys walling around, you know, who can tell push from shove?
17-14, Nebraska has come back. That's the first points they've scored since the first quarter. Boy, give it to Oklahoma. They have really played a tremendous football game here today. The Huskers are out in front, but there's still plenty of time. The only thing that's really a disadvantage for Oklahoma is the fact they do have the stiff wind to contend with 3:16 to play. Won't be any return on this one. So we'll begin the final 3:16 at the 20-yard line. In the Michigan-Ohio State game. Michigan, with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go, is leading the ball game 9-3. Ohio State, however, has the football, 1st and 10 on the 20. I well remember Art Schleister a year ago taking the Buckeyes down against UCLA in the Coliseum in the last minute or two and winning the game for them. We'll keep you up to date, but right now it's 17-14. The Sooners trailing by 3. Watkins pitches it back. Rhymes cuts back inside, gets only a yard or two before Steve Dem, Kroger number 35, knocks him down, and there's a marker.
I think Nebraska's going to get piling on.
Late hit.
And Means in on the tackle.
Coming up next, the Trojans and the Bruins. Immediately following this game, boy, that ought to be a...
Spearing, Nebraska, first down.
A spearing foul. That means putting your headgear right into the breadbasket or the chest, face, someplace of the opponent, using it as a weapon. And it costs Nebraska 15. First down for Oklahoma at the 37-yard line. Fumble. Loose ball. At the 43, it's covered. Stanley Wilson fumbled the ball. Barry Switzer a bit on the grim side. What'd really make it tough is to get it down there.
Stanley Wilson, let's see what happens if he gets the ball's in the right place. He just popped the ball loose, and really nobody's hand, didn't look like anybody's hand got on the football, just looked like it popped loose.
Oubre got it, number 66. Louis Oubre got it. That's 2 he's come up with today. 2nd down and 4. Oklahoma on its own 42. Watts pitches it back. Look at this. As Chet Winters, or excuse me, Buster Rhymes gets it all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Can you believe it?
For a moment, it looked like it was a bad decision to make the pitch, because it looked like he had the hole, but it turned out great for Oklahoma.
We said J.C. Watts has to have a big day today, and he has had a splendid day. Watch him, the last-minute pitch. Buster Rhymes, now he's got everything. He's got everything going his way now. He's trying to make the cutback. He stumbles a little bit, so he stays to the outside. Sims has to make the tackle, and here we go into the same script we've been in every year since 1971.
2:32 to go. The ball on the 14-yard line. Stanley Wilson gets it up to about the 11-yard line as Kurt Heinlein brings him down. This crowd was absolutely stunned there after that 42-yard run by George Buster Rhymes, a freshman out of Miami, Florida, who's had to fill in when David Overstreet was hurt, and he's played brilliant.
Not only the big play by Rhymes, but what's made the difference was the penalty. The 15-yard penalty really gave Oklahoma some added push.
2nd down, 7. The ball on the 11. Fake handoff. Watts pitches it back. Winters is down, short of the line of scrimmage, back on the 14-yard line. Nelson and Sammy Sims, numbers 92 and 6, putting the stop.
Oklahoma, you think several things possible here. 17-14, a field goal would tie it. Who would go to the Orange Bowl? Probably the Orange Bowl would take Nebraska. So you've got to go for it.
Probably just because of the loftier national ranking, 4 against 9.
And the fact that Oklahoma's been there the last 4 years.
Right, and the fact that maybe a chance for a rematch with Florida State. Pass, it is caught and rolled out of bounds. Bobby Grayson running parallel to the line, caught the ball at the 2-yard line, and he's out of bounds. With 1 minute and 20 seconds to go, it'll be 1st and goal to go. What a play by Watts.
The rollout pass, watch him. Oklahoma, they just keep coming at you running, and then all of a sudden they hit you on the pass. It's the out route. Grayson makes the great catch. J.C. Watts again, the throw. Watch him. He rolls. Perfect. It's got to be right there. Good coverage by Means.
It's on the 1.5-yard line. 1st and goal to go. 1:20 to play. Handoff. Short. Right to the line of scrimmage. George Buster Rhymes was given the ball. 1 minute, 15 seconds to go. Nebraska is out in front, 17-14. Their fans were highly elated and emotionally up in the air, but just a few moments after that, they see despair with the ball resting just the length of the football plus 1 yard outside their goal line.
Whoa, this is big.
62 seconds to go. Pitch goes to the deep man. Touchdown, Oklahoma. George Rhymes blasts it in, and the Oklahoma bench goes nuts. Talk about a gutty performance here today. The Oklahoma Sooners with 56 seconds to go after seeing their goal line dented by Jeff Quinn to put Nebraska out in front 17-14. They've come back the length of the field in less than 3 minutes, and the Sooners are back up on top 20-17. And this ball game isn't over. Rhodes will hold. Healing will kick. And it is up and good. And so they've gone 80 yards in 8 plays. It took 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And Oklahoma leads again by 4. We've got 56 seconds to play. There's Buster Rhymes, a happy guy being hugged by his teammates. Here's the touchdown that he scored.
Andy Means came quick on the hard stunt. JC had to pitch quick, and it goes back to Rhymes. Watch it again. Watch Andy Means, number 34, come from the outside very quick, the hard stunt, and Buster Rhymes, all he's got to do is take one block. The receiver makes a good block. Everybody's covered. Chet Winters made a good block on the outside also. Oklahoma scored.
I'll tell you one thing. This game is not over with 56 seconds to go, and you have a team like Nebraska that can strike quickly with a guy like Redwine. So it's 21-17. Tom Osborne must be wondering, what do I have to do to beat this guy? Can't find it. Steals finally does, but he's awfully deep. Only gets it back to the 13-yard line. Couldn't find the football, and Jim Rockford knocks him down. That took 2 seconds off the clock. Well, there's so many heroes out here today. It's very difficult for us to really come up with the Chevrolet most valuable players. I think one thing is very certain about Oklahoma. J.C. Watts was absolutely fantastic today. We'll cover the Nebraska in just a moment. Right now, we have 50 seconds to go. 21-17, the Huskers trail. 86 yards away from the Oklahoma goal line. And Quinn gets protection. Throws to the sideline. It is caught at the 27-yard line. Jeff Finn, the tight end, was the one who caught it. 13-yard gain, and it only took 7 seconds. Comes up to the 27.
Oklahoma will give them the short gain, but they will not. They mustn't let them get the big long gain. They'll give them the short pass.
Quinn once again looks to the sidelines, goes a little deeper with it this time, and he goes to John Newman, number 95. He plays behind split end Todd Brown. 31 seconds to go.
What's the defense? Oklahoma's playing you got their secondary backs in. They're playing what they call 2 deep, 5 under type coverage, and they're going to give them the short route. You can attack the short route. Oh boy.
Now the goal line is a little shorter, only 61 yards away with 31 seconds to go. First down. Third pass in a row. Quinn up inside. His snag. Fine defensive play by Johnny Lewis, number 95. He was out of the play momentarily, just reached out his arm, and comes up with a big one. The Huskers have 3 more timeouts. Going to spend one here.
This is what's made this football game such a great game over the years. The fact that it's seesawed back and forth. Each quarter has been won basically by a different team. It's back and forth. Oklahoma took the ball the length of the field, helped by a Nebraska fumble, or not a fumble, but a penalty. And now Nebraska's got to go the length, but don't have quite the amount of time. They've got to do things quick.
Coming up, Trojans and Bruins. And we'll remind you also that the Michigan-Ohio State game with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. Ohio State has the ball much in the same position that Nebraska is in, because Ohio State is trailing Michigan by 6, and they have it on their own 32 with a minute to go. There's 24 seconds to go in this one, and the Sooners are up on top 21-17 in one of the best ball games ever played in this series. Next week, Oklahoma plays Oklahoma State. The red line goes down the sidelines, and he's knocked out of bounds. And Quinn can't throw to him. Now he goes, he has a man deep, but the pass is going to be short. It is intercepted. Taking the ball is Sanji, and he is down at the 12-yard line. What a wild play. Only 2 seconds to go in the ball game. Quinn just couldn't throw it far enough.
You've got to compliment the Oklahoma defensive coaches. They had Oklahoma prepared. This is a defense that has been abused all year long, that's given up a lot of points, and they have played well. The secondary, they've got a 4-deep kind of an umbrella coverage. Everybody's back. The one man breaks real deep. Now watch Quinn. He's trying to throw it as far as he can. Is it Davies?
Yeah.
And the ball pops up, and there's the old tip drill, and Sanji's right there, carries it in the end zone, and then comes back out. But the Oklahoma defense, the secondary has been suspect all year because of injuries, and they have played well today.
I guess so. And so with only 2 seconds to go, the ball game is virtually over. As Barry Switzer knows it, he allows himself a big grin. And that is it. It is all over, and Oklahoma has upset Nebraska 21-17 to take over the lead in the Big 8 Conference, and certainly with the inside track on the Orange Bowl game. Tom Osborne will come over, and a sportsmanlike gesture will shake hands with Barry Switzer, but today it's Oklahoma by 4.
Recently, a landmark